And hello, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between. How the hell are you? Yeah, this is the open chat. Bet you didn't know that. And I am the Lavender Lady, Diana Clarion. Bet you didn't know that either. And with me, we have the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Kate Farr, Bionic Dance. Hello, my love. How are you? How are you? How are
Today, finally setting up my animation rig so I can get back to working on Quinn Redshift. So that'll be good. I'll have to start doing that tomorrow. But I may have made a mistake. I bought Metroid Dread for the Nintendo Switch, and it's been really hard to put down. Also, for those of you who don't know, I have been getting into throwing axes for fun. There's this place locally, and I decided to get my own axe, which arrived today, as you can see. So, yeah. It's, fun. There's a little rubbery sheath thing on it right now, but there's a proper sheath on its way. So, yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to. That's been my day, and yeah.
Don't let her fool you. She's practicing axe throwing for when she meets me.
Although, who knows? It seems like we might be headed towards some sort of evil civil war thing, and I don't own a gun, so, we'll see what happens. Hopefully this will just need to be a hobby.
Oh, my.
But it is a lot of fun. It's also a lot of exercise. In fact, I've been spending the last 2 days just if not sleeping, although a lot of it was sleeping, relaxing, because let's see, between the bike riding and the axe throwing and the VR, I've been sort of running myself ragged. For a good long time, I was not getting the exercise that perhaps I ought to have, and so I'm making up for it. Back when I was in Seattle, I used to do this 23-mile round tripper on rollerblades, which I cannot do here in the Burlington area because a lot of the bike path is not paved. So that presents a bit of a problem. The part that's not paved is actually a causeway that goes sort of north on Lake Champlain, so you've got water on either side of you. It's kind of cool. So yeah, but I'm not used to a bicycle, even with all the blading. It uses different muscles, and so my thighs have been screaming at me. But
Shut up, Clarion.
So that's kind of what I've been up to.
Oh, that sounds like a whole shitload of fun. It really, really does. And along with, we also have the one, the only, the brilliant, the beautiful Mage Grey Wolf. Hello, dear. How are you, Liz?
Yeah, not bad. I was over on Purple's channel earlier.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That
Just
sounds...
shooting the shit over there. You know how it is. Just about 10 minutes of on topic, and the rest is just wherever.
Yeah, huh? Yep. Oh, man, it's amazing how far off topic you can go.
Isn't it just?
Well, that's why we don't have a topic. We can't go off topic if we don't have one.
Aha, we've beat the system.
Yes.
Mind you, if we don't have a topic, shouldn't it just be long, protracted silence?
There you go. There you go. I like that idea.
Well, the audience may appreciate it, but I'm...
Well, if you ever need that axe for self-defense, it's probably best not to throw it anyway.
Yeah, I guess, but then again, it's probably better to let someone, or to not let someone get into melee range.
Yeah, true.
Oh, my. Yeah, wait a minute. Saw your new video. Whose new video?
They probably mean me.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't see that. You put one out?
Yeah, well, of the axe throwing.
Oh, Dayukorostu. Yes. I saw that one. You showed it
They
at
say
me.
I'm echoing like crazy. I don't know from whom, though.
It sounds like it was from me. I plugged my headphones in, and Smokey said it was better.
You know that when your headphones aren't on, it's Echo City, right?
Yeah, it's just that I forgot to put them in.
Yep, it was the headphones.
What do we have? Colleen says more exercise is always good. Yeah.
Well, yes and no. I mean, it is possible to overdo it.
Well, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. In fact, I may have overdone it given how much I slept the last day or two.
Oh
Although
no.
not so much today. Like I said, that video game I bought, the Metroid game, has kind of motivated me to stay up. Mind you, I'm also sitting on my ass while I play it, but still.
Hmm.
It's not exactly relaxing. I finally beat this one boss that was like extraordinarily frustrating.
Yeah, I
And
know
it sure would
Metroid
be nice
bosses can
if
be.
it sure would be nice if they gave you a like a hit point bar so you could know how close you are to killing the bastard. Because it seemed like he had just endless hit points.
Yeah, that's a problem with those Metroid games. Well, I
So-
did release the video on Monday with turning the brassica stalks into bird toys.
Okay.
I actually only caught some of that. Something about Vasquez and bird toys.
Brassicas.
Oh, brassicas. Oh.
You know, like broccoli, kale.
Well, sure, but what I heard was Vasquez, and I was very confused.
Yeah, so, go hunt some aliens.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I love how Vasquez was played by a Jewish woman. Like, it's funny how that works, you know? I mean, her name's Jeanette Goldstein, but she pulled off Hispanic really well.
Yeah, she did.
Okay. Okay.
I like that character. Wish she didn't die.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of my favorite people died in that movie. Although I have to say, I do like Hicks, and I'm glad he survived it. But then, of course, what they did to him in Newton Alien 3 was so shitty.
Yeah.
So
They
shitty.
should have gone with the alternative idea they had where Newt grows up and they take the Alien franchise that way.
I would all kinds of watch that.
Alrighty. Oh, look over here. We've got the side chat is full of all kinds of fun people. Yes, we have Harmonica Man. Hi, Randy. We have Bloggerty Shmoo, and I see.
Searching for Fran. Is that on Steam? I'm gonna look for it on Steam. I want to know what the hell Searching for Fran is. Let's see. Searching.
Sounds like a bad sitcom.
And well, I see something here called The Search for Fran. Maybe it's the same thing. Welcome to the city park. You are here to search for Fran. While searching, you can also talk with people and go on quests, collect glorbs, throw a ball, drive a car, fly a ship, fix traffic jams, try a challenge, and much more. It's got a very positive rating, but the concept is weird, I guess. I don't know. Well, you know what? It's 30% off right now, so it costs 69 cents.
Okay, then.
Yeah. I'm looking at some of the screenshots, and I mean, I'm not really sure what to make of it.
One of those.
Are those aliens? Or maybe the lighting is just bad. They might be talking statues. I can't tell.
Oh my. What do we have?
Oh, Colleen's here. I haven't seen Colleen in a while.
Yay!
Huh. The search for Fran. You know what occurs to me? I don't think I've set up new payment options for Steam. Like I've changed banks since moving to the East Coast, and I'm not sure I've updated like everything yet.
That's always a problem.
Now that's something nice about being able to access my financial institutions online and having direct deposit. I don't have to worry so much about changing things over were I ever to move, as if that's ever likely.
Well, I mean, I have all of that too, but well, number one, if I did have a paper check, there's no way I can deposit it at the bank I used to be at because it's pretty local to San Diego, right? So
Yeah.
I did have to switch banks, and so now I have a new debit card, but like I had to go to PayPal and change that. I had to go to other things where I had like auto payments and change those up and all of that, just with the new debit card, that's all.
Moo.
Yeah, Colleen, I did indeed move. I moved back to my old home state, indeed my old hometown here in Vermont.
Yeah, I had the somebody get a hold of my account information. Was buying up a bunch of stuff a few months back and had to get a new debit card.
Did you get that straightened out, as in refunded and stuff?
Yeah,
or?
actually, yeah, I got it all refunded.
Oh, yay!
Did
That's
they
a good
catch the
thing.
guy?
I don't know. I imagine it'd be pretty easy to catch them, seeing as they're doing DoorDash.
Oh, well, yeah. Man.
I don't. That seems kind of dumb to, steal somebody's debit card and then use it to get food delivered to your door.
It's funny. I remember hearing about these pranks that apparently you can't do anymore because of everything being online, where you'd send like 20 pizzas to someone's house. But what I never really understood was like, can't they just say I didn't order these and not pay for them? Because I thought the prank was they have to buy the pizzas just because they showed up.
I remember seeing something described about that many, many years ago, and I didn't understand what they were doing, but they said something about charge it to the phone bill. I didn't know you could do that.
Neither did I. That's weird.
Yeah.
Another one I never understood was like leaving a flaming bag of poop on someone's doorstep. Like I'm like, who just stomps it? I would kick it.
Yeah,
There's no way I would stomp it out. I mean, number one, even if I didn't know about the prank, like even if I didn't think it was dog dookie in there, for all I know, it might explode or be really stinky. And I mean, a paper bag is mobile, pretty mobile. I would punt it rather than stomp it out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot of pranks like that I've just never quite understood. I mean, unless you hide the whoopee cushion under a couch cushion, isn't it really easy to spot?
And one would think so. Yeah, I'm thinking that in many cases they're brightly colored.
And then there's that prank where someone gets down on all fours behind someone and another person pushes the guy so that they fall over the person who's like on all fours, right? But if someone shoved me like that, I wouldn't just fall backward. I'd try to sit down. My knees would bend and I'd end up breaking the back of the guy behind me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just like there's all these classic pranks that I've seen in like TV or comics or whatever that never made sense to me. Like, okay, here's the thing. Who the hell actually sniffs the flower in someone else's lapel?
Yeah, right. I mean, even I didn't do shit like that.
Oh, Butthurt Mountain Productions there. I mean, yeah, maybe it is about screwing over the pizza company, but then why? I mean, do you just pick a stranger? I always thought it was about pranking the person you sent them to.
That's what I thought. Hi, Butthurt Mountain. How you doing?
But, I don't know. Did you ever hear about swatting?
Yes.
Swatting?
Yeah, basically, it was like a thing where usually it was like rival video game players, online, like MMO type people who got pissy with each other for whatever reason. And so one of them would say that there was like a terrorist or hostage situation at that person's house, like the other person's house, so that they'd send a SWAT team.
Oh, yeah. I've
Yeah.
heard of
You can get in
that.
big
Yeah.
trouble for doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like apparently a few people got shot or something
Yep.
as a
Yeah.
result.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, that's I just can't imagine trying to do that to somebody. That's over the like so many lines.
I can imagine there are people who would actually try to do that. Yeah, but not this one.
Yeah, I mean, at no point would I think that was a good idea. I mean, even if I could, like, disguise my voice, do it from an outside line or whatever, I'd always be worried about getting caught. And if it's not a federal crime, it probably ought to be.
I think it is.
Yeah. Because you
So-
are misusing law enforcement assets.
Mm-hmm. And not just law enforcement, federal law enforcement. I mean, you know, I seem to remember what the F in FBI stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a federal crime status threatening interstate communications. Conspiracy to retaliate against a witness, victim or informant. It
wonder
just
what
goes on and on.
I wonder what the penalty is, you know, like, I would imagine it's more than just a fine.
A little more, I would guess. I would guess it would be a felony.
Yeah, it's felony.
Yeah. I don't know, it's weird, like, I mean, not to bring us to that topic, but I started looking up, like, what constitutes treason.
Okay.
See, it comes with up to 10 years in prison and fine up to $150,000.
Jeepers. But yeah, it turns out that it's only treason against, like, an enemy with whom we are at war, so. Yeah. But I can't imagine, like, I guess as a teenager, I might have thought it would be funny not realizing what, like, the consequences would be, but I also don't think I would have done it anyway. Like, it's the sort of thing where if I saw someone else do it, I'd be all ha ha, but I don't think I would have done it myself.
Okay then. Oh, interesting. Butthurt Mountain says it's federal if the place you swat is in another state. Most people used VoIP calling through to mask where they were located.
Yeah, still.
I don't know, you seem to be pretty read up on this. No, huh?
Well, I mean, I some people get interested in stuff and end up researching things and going down weird rabbit holes, don't they?
Okay.
I've researched some pretty gruesome stuff.
I've researched some very insistent kitties. Somebody wants attention.
My my kitties have gotten to be quite shameless about demanding food.
Oh my.
I mean, they're getting fed 3 times a day. They can quit their bitching.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did that start, the 3 times a day?
Well, I was never sure if I was feeding them enough. I'm still not sure if I'm feeding them enough. And no matter what I do, I look online and it's all like, well, weigh your cat. And I'm like, yeah, like they're staying on the scale long enough to get a reading. And then they're like, and if they weigh this much, then give them this portion. If, you know, and they give you like a ratio and kind of thing. And I'm like, dude, just tell me how much to feed a fucking cat.
You know, in the wild, they would eat the equivalent of 8 mice a day.
But I mean, like, seriously, just like, okay, how many cans worth? You know?
Basically, they really don't need to eat that much.
Well, it sure would be nice to just get a straight up answer in number of cans or how much of a can every day, et cetera, et cetera.
It's nice to have a security professional on hand, Butthurt. Welcome, welcome. Oh my.
Let's see here. the weight of a wild mouse is about 68 ounces, and they eat 8 of those a day.
Well, I know that they don't eat all of the mouse.
The wood mouse can weigh about 83 ounces, so
I mean, back when I was living in the old neighborhood and our cats were outdoor cats, there were a lot of offerings left on the front stoop.
Oh, my.
My kitties cannot be outdoor kitties, as I do not live on the ground floor. And even if I did, number one, there's like some people with dogs that would probably go ape shit. But even if there weren't, there's a lot of cars, so
You don't have a basket elevator, like Rear Window?
I really don't. And even if I did, I would not trust my kitties to not do something dangerous. Xander especially.
So figure about maybe a little under half a pound of food a day.
Did you say a pound and a half?
Half a pound.
Oh, half a pound. I have no idea how much that is in cans.
Or 0.415 pounds.
I honestly don't know how much that is in cans worth, though. I mean, my cats don't seem underfed, but boy oh boy do they bug the crap out of me to be fed.
Well, that's the whole ask the kitty thing. Yeah, ask the kitty, have you had enough to eat? And you know what? The answer is always no.
That's true. I think I've figured out why they've been barfing. I need to change their water more frequently.
Oh, okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
So, along with dry food, would be like 1 can of a 6.04 ounce can. Like the
Alright.
Friskies Pate was a 6.4 ounce. Or if you have like the smaller ones, like the Fancy Feast, you have the 3.33 ounce, so it would be 2 of those.
Well, then it's possible I am feeding them slightly less than they should be having, because each of them gets like 3/4 of a can a day.
Flattery will get you everywhere, Bloggerty. I was just looking at some of my old pictures, and I have aged quite a bit more than the 3 years between pictures.
I have not.
Well, consider yourself lucky.
I guess that's one way to look at it. I don't know. I still think I might be a Highlander.
No, there you go. Well, if it's not the case that there can be only one of you, then there should be only one.
Well, I mean, no one's come to chop my head off yet, so maybe I'm not, but still.
Oh my.
Like, I know some people who still insist I have to be in my 20s.
Well, you certainly don't look in your mid-40s. I will say
It's
that.
true.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, Jackson says, I feed my 13-pound cat half a cup of dry food per day and a 3-ounce can of Fancy Feast.
Well, like, I know I said it might be the water, but I've seen the cats throw up dry food more often than wet food, so they don't get it anymore. Except for those little treats, the temptation treats. You should see Xander go bug fuck for those. I mean, you have no idea.
Oh, I have a little bit of an idea. This is a darn thing I should get some more, because she likes the Temptations. Because when Purple was here, she brought some stuff with her for Sylvia.
But have you had a cat try to climb you to get at them?
Well, it's hard for me to say because this one will climb me for just about anything.
But I mean, climb you when you're standing up?
I can't say that that's happened. No. The
Well,
only
I
time.
can say that it's happened. When I take those temptations out, Xander has been known to try and use me as Mount Everest. Okay, he does his Spider-Man impression to get at those things.
Oh my, I remember the one cat I definitely remember climbing me while I was standing was Miranda, who climbed up my back and onto my shoulder when I first met her.
Funny, Xander did that to me when I first met him.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that was her way of saying, take me home.
Well, I wasn't really sure because there were gosh, what was it like? I think there were 2 boys and 2 girls in the litter. I'm not sure, and or it might have been more. I'm not sure. Cats are like clown cars when they're giving birth.
Yes.
And I was trying to decide which cat to take home because there were options, and I chose the most rambunctious one just because it seemed like he'd be the most fun. But I had a somewhat less rambunctious one to choose, and I went with the one who ended up climbing me.
When I was picking my first cat, we went to there was one place and the front porch was filled with cats. I sat down in the chair, I was looking around, and each cat and this cat just jumped up in my lap, curled up, and fell asleep. I'm like, okay, this one.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was good at that. Kittens would fall asleep in my arms.
Wonder if Xander ever misses his siblings. Or if he even remembers them.
How old was he when you brought him home?
Like 4 months?
Okay, I'm gonna guess that he might remember his siblings then.
Well, I wonder if he misses them.
Have you asked him?
A little bit, but, his answer was unintelligible.
I don't know, you gotta learn to speak cat.
He needs to learn to speak English. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. When I got Columbia, she was 1.5 years old, and she'd been on the streets, and she'd had a litter of kittens, actually. So I don't know if she misses them, but, I'm sure she's glad to have a home.
I would hope so. Okay, Blargety. Blargety says, trick is to add 15 years, then everyone will say you look amazing. The damn thing is, nobody believes I'm 65.
Yeah, I'm sure you're at least 78.
Yeah, really. Everybody thinks I'm in my 50s. It's like, okay, I'll take it, I tell them that it's probably because I never had kids.
Yeah, I don't ever want kids. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'd make a great maiden auntie. I would make a terrible mom.
Oh, I would pity the kid who had me as a parent. I really would.
Yeah, I'd mostly pity myself, but yeah, the kid too.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, well, let's put it this way. I would definitely not be one for changing diapers. They say it's different when it's your own kid, but I gotta be honest, ew.
Yeah, I just cannot imagine myself doing that. Sorry. I don't know, maybe it is different. Maybe you get habituated to the stench or something. I don't know.
But, like little babies, and in fact toddlers, will fall asleep in my arms. I seem to be naturally good at lulling a child to sleep.
Oh,
it's a very specific way of bouncing up and down while rotating the hips and just going shh, 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 like that, and it just knocks them right out.
So, I mean, no, does it have anything to do with the hammer you carry around?
No.
Okay.
No, it's just a matter of holding them a certain way and bouncing a certain way while rotating at the hips.
Chloroform.
There you go. Paregoric.
Well, you're not supposed to say that out loud. The parents might hear you. I don't know. It's like, hey, does this rag smell like chloroform to you?
Cruella
I mean,
DeVille.
I also know that eventually I would get very frustrated with the child that doesn't stop crying. You know what I mean?
Oh, they
Like,
do exist.
I'm probably just too damn ADHD and autistic to have a kid.
Oh,
I can
man.
barely tolerate myself half the time.
Okay. Now you talk
You don't
about
wanna-
the.
You don't want a mini me running around to have to tolerate?
Jeez.
Well, I mean, that's another thing is like, I absolutely have no intention whatsoever of doing the whole being pregnant thing.
Right,
I
right.
mean, it'd be interesting for a week, and after that, it just sounds miserable. Never mind the giving birth part.
Yeah, I
do
hear
find that
stories.
Yeah, I do find that a little creepy when you have the mother who dresses their daughter exactly the same way as they're dressed. You ever see that?
Oh, I've seen that.
Well, I mean, I've seen those pictures of like entire families dressed the same way. It's usually Christmas photos, but not always.
Yeah, sometimes
that
it's
a-
Duggar photos. Those Quiverful families like
I
to
was at
do
a
that.
Renaissance fair and they had the mother in a leopard pattern leotard, and they had the kid in the exact same outfit.
All right.
Like,
I gotta say
okay.
though, like even worse than that, because I mean, you can always take clothes off and put new ones on and all of that. But even worse than that are the parents who have twins and give them either rhyming or alliterative names. You know,
Yes.
Stan and Fran or whatever. You know,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. It's like, seriously, why would you do that? And then they dress the twins the same way, of course.
Yes, and there are stories about how many of these twins absolutely detest that shit.
Wonder how many times the parents forget which is which and have to have them fingerprinted.
More than they'll admit.
Probably. And it's like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. Instead of circumcision, we're tattooing their initials somewhere.
Yeah, huh?
You know.
Yeah, and what's worse is when the parents do that to one and one. You know, when the twins are a boy and a girl, it's amazing how many parents can't tell them apart.
Oh. Yeah, well, you know, it takes a while for kids to grow their hair out to where the parents can assign them a gendered hairstyle.
There you go. Have you seen those signs though? With when you leave the car to go into our store, remember who you left there, or whatever that is.
Oh, I've never seen that. I've seen a lot of, no pets but service animals welcome, but not that one.
Yeah, it's. I really want to know what parent is going to forget that the kid is in the car. Leave the kid there intentionally. I get that, but forget.
Well, I mean, I've heard of parents who, like, their kid looks so generic or ordinary or whatever that they'll put an X on the kid's heel to make sure they're taking the right one home.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
That kind of thing. But, I mean, what if every parent does that?
Yeah.
You'd have to come up with your own design. It's like, okay, I'm not using a black magic marker. It's red, and the kid's getting an ampersand. I still think it's weird that I'm one of the only people I know who will actually write a proper ampersand instead of the weird 3 with a line through it business. I mean, it's not that difficult.
No, it's very easy. It's very easy. I do it all the time.
But, oh well.
Yeah, start from the lower right and then go up through the loop and around. Yeah.
But, I mean, like, for some people, it's more difficult than cursive writing. I don't get it. They don't teach cursive in school anymore. And
Right.
honestly, Like after I left school, the only time I've used cursive writing at all was for signatures. I mean, okay, and maybe reading other people's handwriting, but that's it.
Well, something I saw recently was a video. I'm trying to remember the technology was titled "The Ballpoint Pen Killed Cursive Writing," and suddenly,
Radio killed the radio. Anyway.
and suddenly it all made sense. To where when you were writing with fountain pens,
And quills.
yeah, the ink would flow, and if you stopped, it would puddle up. So you just kept going and going, and you ended up with cursive.
Now, I think it would have been a lot easier to understand cursive writing, like when they were teaching it to me in school, if they'd used different colors when they connected letters to each other versus the actual letter. Because when you look at cursive writing, it's like, how the frick is that a G? You know?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
capital G just looks so fucked up. That's not a G in any fashion. But if they would show you, like, okay, here's the loopy loop that connects the letters, but here's the actual letter. Now you see what's going, like an R, a lowercase r, just looks so screwy. It doesn't look like an R at all because of the loop that connects it to the next letter.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
But if they had like done those little loopy loops in red and done the actual letter in black, it would have made so much more sense. But as it is, it looks like it might as well be Chinese or something until they teach it to you. It's that arcane looking.
The cursive Z.
Yeah. It's like, I'm trying to remember which one it is. There's one, I swear, I think it's the Q or something. One of the cursive letters, it looks like a giant 2.
Oh, that's a Q. Yeah.
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 And it's just like, what were you people thinking?
No idea. None at all. That would be a great reason to have a time machine to go back and watch the development of handwriting.
Actually, I think if I had a time machine, I'd go to the future and get me a goddamn spaceship. But, if I was forced to go to the past, I think I would like go and I'm not allowed to kill Hitler or Jesus or anything, to change history like that. If I'm only allowed to bring devices, I'd probably bring a really powerful computer back to when they were starting the space race or something. It's like here, go to the moon with something more powerful than a Casio wristwatch kind of thing. Or I would go back to where people were writing with quills and shit and introduce the ballpoint pen quicker. Or I'd go back to when they were starting coal mines and chimneys and shit and Model T Fords and start us off on green technology.
Yeah, now that's an interesting story about energy sources and how the easy source of energy, which was the fossil fuels, got us where we are.
Yep. I think it'd be great to do that. I wonder what the planet would be like. I don't know. But believe me, if I had access to a time machine, was only allowed to go back to the past, I would do my damnedest to eliminate religion.
Oh my, I have to wonder if that would be possible. Are humans wired to look for agency in other sources?
Well, yeah, humans are agency-seeking creatures. It's like that rustle in the bushes might just be the wind, but it could be a tiger, that kind of thing. So, humans are programmed to look for agency, but I think religion, certainly like a huge part of it, was an attempt to explain things that were unexplainable to scientific illiterates. You know, to people who hadn't figured out like physics and all that shit yet, biology. I mean, hell, people used to believe in spontaneous generation because they didn't have goddamn microscopes to see the eggs hatching on mold and all of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh yeah, flies just spontaneously appear. There's magic, you know. So, I mean, getting people to not have to refuse to say I don't know would be a huge start on eliminating religion, because I think religion is there to you know, as that placeholder, so people don't have to say I don't know. They can just say, oh well, God done it, when they don't understand something. So I think if you introduce science early to the point where they don't need religion to explain shit, and you give them the means to discover things, you might be able to eliminate religion. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it's not that there wasn't a bit of a start. I mean, look at Archimedes.
Well, sure, but I mean, you know, then you get people like the Christians who go around eliminating anyone who doesn't follow their tradition, you know.
Well, that's another thing about the religion, is it's a mechanism of control. Yeah. Tell somebody their immortal soul was on the line and watch them comply.
But I mean, if you can nip that in the bud by like nerfing people's like ability to control people by giving them answers. I mean, another problem, literacy. If more people were able to read back then, they wouldn't have to rely on shamans and storytellers and preachers and all that shit.
Well,
You know, it's
actually
like
more,
it was only the gentry and the clergy who knew how to read.
that was actually more about reading Latin, not so much reading in general.
I think it was both.
No, people could read back then. It was just where the illiteracy came in. But if you were considered illiterate, you were considered illiterate if you couldn't read Latin.
That's not what I remember hearing.
Yeah, it's a misconception.
Well, wait a minute. When you say back then, when exactly is back then?
Medieval era.
Oh. I don't know. Still, it seems like the kind of thing you'd have to tackle. I mean, if you were to eliminate religion, you would have to make it so that people could read just about any damn thing. I don't know. I have to
Okay.
wonder, though, like, I think the biggest barrier to any of that would be speaking their language. I mean, never mind some of the ancient shit. Have you seen the way English used to be spelled way back in the day? You know, I mean, like, imagine what the accents must have been like way back then. Would they even understand any of us?
Probably not.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's the same language, they wouldn't be able to understand.
That's a very interesting point you have there, Blogarty. The Roman Empire was so successful because the pleb classes were deliberately kept illiterate to stop them plotting against the empire. Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a point to that.
The way people would write, they would write phonetically. So they would be able to write letters and poems and all that kind of stuff to each other. Write it how it sounds.
Yeah, but even then, like I say, it probably sounded very different back then.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. I mean, like, I saw a video a while back on YouTube of people speaking the way they did, like, I guess back in Shakespeare's day or something.
Bree,
And it
hi.
was nigh incomprehensible.
Okay.
I was
Like-
trying to find that video of where people were talking in the past.
Yeah, it was just totally crazy pants. I'm like, Still, I mean, if you could only go back so far, like, I don't know, would you kill Hitler before he got a chance to start all that nonsense, or maybe hell, teach him to paint?
That might not be a bad idea. Now, how
Yeah.
far would you get with that? I don't know, because there has been the idea advanced that if you take out Hitler in 1920, there would be someone else to fill that vacuum. I don't know.
Well, but that's the thing, though. I mean, filling the vacuum is one thing, Being a fucking fascist is another. Someone might have stepped in and taken power, but that doesn't mean that they would have started the Holocaust.
Yeah, well, I guess where I'm coming from is there's the idea that a lot of Nazism was not Hitler's idea. He was
I
just
don't know.
a charismatic figure,
Well, that's
sort of the
weird
Donald
thing
Trump
also.
of his age.
Well, that's a weird thing. Like, okay, comparing the way Donald Trump gives speeches to the way Hitler gives speeches. Now, even allowing for the fact that it was in German, Hitler just seems like he's screaming his head off. He looks insane. Where
Yeah.
Donald Trump kind of looks like he's on Quaaludes.
Yeah.
You know, he looks like he's on Valium. He looks sedated.
He should be sedated at any rate, but that's another story entirely. What I don't get is where the idea, when you're talking about the Orange Menace, where people decided to exalt him to the level of a god, which seems to be rather widespread.
Well, it like I've been seeing a lot of videos where like there's this one preacher dude, crazy guy, who's insisting that Trump is America's Messiah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I don't know. I want to see what happens to these people if Trump finally goes to prison for shit.
I don't know. I am of two minds. One is there might be widespread rioting. Another is they might just switch to the next figure, or perhaps they're already starting to do so.
I don't know, like who?
First person that comes to my mind is Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. Like, I mean, I will enjoy their pain. I really will. The Schadenfreude will be extreme on my end. Just because, like, watching all these people who've put him up on a pedestal, and then he just goes down for all kinds of shit that he's done. I mean, I would love to watch them melt down over it.
Yeah, I get
Also,
that.
like, I don't know if it's true that the FBI took his passports. Like, he made that claim, but then all of a sudden he didn't make the claim. All kinds of like he's constantly contradicting himself.
Yes.
But what I think someone should do is tell him that, Puerto Rico doesn't have an extradition treaty with the United States. You should run there.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, I found that one in YouTube with the how far back you can go before it becomes unrecognizable English. I'll just pull one little piece of this up.
Although I do sometimes wonder, like, how far do you have to go back where people don't understand today's English? With all of the slang, the net speak, all of that stuff. I mean, it seems like people would have a hard time understanding us now.
This is about the 1330s.
Juan dat April with his sure sorter, the drocht of March had perset to the rotor, and barred every lane and switch liquor of which were to engender his the floor.
I have no idea what the fuck that was. It sounded like someone getting drunk and hitting the floor.
That was English in 1389.
Yowza.
It's actually more intelligible in the written form than it is, when you hear it.
Yeah. But, I mean, again, like, back in the 80s, there was a lot of saying, like, hey, dude, and all of that. But now, I mean, like, I watched some TV, and if I went back in time with some of that TV, and people were like, what is this stuff about tweeting? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What's the internet? I don't know. What does it mean to yeet something? All of that. Like, people would not understand us, even 30 years ago.
Well, yeah, slang has changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Even if you go 3 years, from that, we'd have different slang.
So, I mean, it's just weird. Like, the internet has changed so much about the culture, and I have tried to explain it to people, and everyone is just so dismissive of how much the world has changed because of the internet. Like one of the reasons I think it would be difficult to get, like, traction for a fascist movement like Trump's, is because we can all see it coming. News isn't showing up in newspaper form. We get it as it happens. And you have information at your fingertips. I think it would be very difficult for it to get mainstream traction the way the Nazis did in Germany.
I can
Well-
see people going back 30 years saying, you literally have the sum of human knowledge at your fingertips and you're this stupid.
I mean, it's just like there's enough of us who can see behind the curtain,
Yeah, there are still enough who don't or can't or
Well,
whichever.
but see, that's the thing, is I don't know that it's enough. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Like one of the differences, and they mentioned this in the alt-right playbook, is that like a lot of people who get recruited or groomed to be fascists online now don't have direct in-person contact with the party, and what you end up with is like a system for generating lone wolves, and we've seen it happen. All of these shootings that are happening, and it's like there's no cohesion to these movements. Not really. Most of them are underground. It was only because of Donald Trump giving them the opportunity to say the quiet part out loud that they even gained a scrap of traction. So I mean, it's like it's harder to do that sort of thing and stay underground now that the internet's there. Like to keep yourself, your group, your members in check until you're ready. That's harder now.
I'll give you that. Yeah, we see it happen where I think there have been a couple terrorist acts that were started too early, or however you want to put that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like well, one of the things that I find interesting is that all of these people make themselves known thanks to Donald Trump, and like so now we know who the hell they are. Where like they thought they had license to become public, they thought they were all gonna win, they thought they were gonna take over, and so they revealed themselves to the world.
Yeah.
And now we know who they are. I remember how many people whinged after January 6th because they were on the no-fly list. They were trying to get home from January 6th and couldn't.
Yeah. That was so beautiful.
Oh, wasn't it just? What the hell is that? It looks like Raid.
It is Raid.
Got roaches, do ya?
Houseflies.
It's weird, when I moved into this new place, there were like ladybugs in the light fixtures for some reason.
Oh
Not very
my.
many, just about 3, but still. I
It's a
thought it
weird
was
thing
weird.
to find. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Jackson, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah, America has always been full of stupid people. Trump just gave them an excuse to walk in the daylight. Well, honestly, I think for them, that was a mistake. I think for them, it was not time yet. And now we know who they are, and we can do something about them.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, or mentioned if just as Thomas had waited until this whole red wave washed over the country, and then did the whole Roe versus Wade thing.
Yeah. Man, why am I so sleepy? Well, I guess I mentioned why earlier. Been doing all that exercise.
Oh, this Raid does a pretty good job. Okay.
Hmm.
There were a whole bunch of flies congregating around my lamp, so I hit them, and yeah, they're pretty much dead now.
That's why I have the zap racket.
Oh, one of those. I've seen those. Yeah, you're right. Alex Jones got convicted. And it's not the only trial coming up for the guy.
Yeah,
I don't know how much he's worth, but like, didn't he get fined something like 40 million? How many times is that going to happen to him? You're like,
Oh,
how
my.
much can he afford to be fined? I've actually often wondered, like, if a court fines you more than you have, even just in like liquid assets or your home or whatever, like, what do? Do you go in debt for the rest of your life?
Yes, you do.
Crazy. Well, let's hope, fingers and eyes crossed, that Alex Jones just takes it in the neck.
And he could not shut up either. He didn't have to say, he didn't even have to be there, and he kept just digging himself deeper.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And well,
Of course,
Trump
his
is.
lawyer delivering the cell phone, that was, wow.
I can just imagine his lawyer saying, "For the love of God, shut up."
Oh my word. Yeah, I hope that Trump has the same problem where he just talks himself into a big hole.
Well, he doesn't. Did you see the whole thing where he was like at I forget what it was, a hearing or a trial or something? He took the fifth like 455 times.
I saw that, and what else I saw was somebody else had an idea that the interrogators, or whatever the word is for them, crafted the questions in such a way that he even answered them by pleading the fifth. He established that a fact presented within the question, was indeed real.
Well, I'm not 100% sure, because I think that Trump is stupid enough to think he can just take the fifth no matter what. That he's using the fifth as license to say nothing.
Oh,
Now,
I'm sure he is.
I don't know if you can like be prosecuted for taking the fifth when it wouldn't incriminate you. Like if you take it facetiously or whatever. I don't know if that's a crime. It's worth looking up. But I think he's just using it as a blanket way to try to save his own ass.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Not at all. And this is how, getting him to plead the fifth to a very specifically worded question might actually have something going for it. Because if you take the fifth in a civil proceeding, which it was, it can still be used against you in a criminal proceeding.
I still find it funny.
One of the things that I've often wondered how a judge expects a jury to do this is when it's like, okay, when you're deciding like whether or not to convict, you have to disregard this, that, or the other bit of testimony because it was like out of bounds or something. How do you just do that as a juror?
It ain't easy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to say I believe it's not possible.
Yeah.
And I believe that part of many legal strategies is put the illegal, put the unacceptable stuff out there such that it does go into the jurors' ears.
I mean, if someone pleads the fifth as many times as he did, I mean, I, as a juror, would be like, okay, you know what? He's clearly guilty of all the stuff he refused to testify about.
As a jury, you're not allowed to do that.
Really?
Yeah, you have to disregard, or you can't draw anything from it.
Well, I would have a hard time lying to myself in that fashion.
Just seeing you're reading up on it, the jury is specifically instructed that they are to draw no adverse conclusions from this fact, or pleading the fifth.
I would not be able to do that. Like seriously, keeping my integrity, my honesty, my sense of self-worth, I would have a very difficult time doing that because it's so much fiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't think I'd be capable of it. Fortunately, I've only been called for jury duty once, and I got out of it. I'm not sure which factor was the important one, either the seizures or the fact that I don't own business casual clothing, but I told them both, and they said don't show up.
Okay, then. And then there's this cat. I wonder if the cat would be rejected for jury duty. Would you be rejected?
Somehow I suspect the cat would be jailed for contempt of court.
Could be.
I mean, it's a jury box, not a litter box.
Yeah, huh? Yes, you. Talking about you.
I can't believe Xander's asleep in that chair and not in his kitty tree. And it really is his kitty tree. Columbia never uses it. Although she has been sleeping in her carrier a lot, which she didn't do after Xander was introduced into the home, but she used to do it all the time. I have pictures.
Well, your idea that she was afraid of getting trapped does have something going for it.
But now now she's doing it. And like, I don't know what changed.
I don't know, maybe... Oh, it was that saucer full of aliens that was following the plane when you were flying to Vermont.
Yeah, but she wasn't
Oh,
flying
wait a minute,
with
she
you.
wasn't flying with you, that's right.
Yeah, she was driven across the country. I have to say, I am glad that decision was made, because flying like from Seattle to San Diego with her in a carrier was kind of hellish. And like, I can only imagine a flight with possibly even multiple layovers. I don't even know where I would find a litter box at the airport.
Maybe they just replaced her with an identical looking cat.
There you go.
Or replaced her with a cat who behaves exactly the same other than the carrier. So
there you are. It's possible she spent enough time in close confines with Xander. I almost called him Winston. Don't even ask me why. That she's a little less leery of him. I don't know.
Well, it's weird because like, when they arrived here in Vermont, they were actually pretty friendly. Apparently, being in that confined space, being driven across the country was like, it sort of helped them bond. But after a few weeks, Xander started sort of behaving like his old self. He kept trying to wrestle with Columbia and this, that, and the other thing. But it was after that Columbia started using the carrier more.
That's
so
strange.
I don't know what the difference is. Mind you, Xander does try to wrestle with her less, but he still tries it.
I don't know. Maybe he's growing up.
Oh, I hope not. Growing up is for suckers. I don't ever want to do it. Like, seriously, one of my favorite stories when I was little, Peter Pan, because of Never Never Land.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And I just, like, I hated the idea of being a grown-up. It looked awful. Still does. And let's face it, as an animator, in many ways, my job is to play with toys. I mean, to make them, but also to play with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a great way to be someone who is technically an adult, who's still a fucking kid at heart.
Yeah, that I can go for.
You know.
I wish I had more space here where I could play with those building toys, like the Connects or whatever they call them.
Well, hell, I mean, I have a dedicated virtual reality room. I am not a grown-up.
There you go. Well,
So,
what you have? Honey, hold still.
Oh, you got like the suggested names for the Robert E. Lee Elementary.
okay.
Hold still, honey.
Like,
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
I feel like I'm missing a couple of references. Like, I know who John Cena is. I know who Bruce Lee is. No idea who Drew Brees is. I like Schoolie McSchoolface, though.
Yeah.
And I mean, Adolf Hitler's School for Friendship and Tolerance is funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, who the hell is Drew Brees?
I'm not sure.
I guess Bruce Lee makes sense, you know, Robert E. Lee, Bruce Lee,
Yeah.
you know, I guess. But John Cena?
I think that might have been a choice from the kids.
I guess. I mean, I think I even own a movie, like a disc with him in it. Was that him in Bumblebee? I forget.
I'm not sure.
But I really don't know a lot about the guy.
I know he's a wrestler and acting.
Well, I know the acting part. So I like Schoolie McSchoolface. They should do that.
Okay, so Drew Brees is an NFL quarterback, but I know nothing
Oh.
besides that.
Well, I'm not sports people. You know me. I watch the Super Bowl and that's it. So no wonder I don't know who the fuck he is. Hell, for all I knew, Drew was like, I mean, because that's a fairly unisex name, depending how you use it.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a music performer at first.
Okay.
I don't know why.
I like Blargaty's suggestion, John Wayne Gacy School for Friendly Clowns.
Yeah.
Oh, thoughts about the new moon rocket? I don't know. I certainly hope that they don't stop with simply going back to the moon. I mean, do something useful if you're
Like
going to
what?
go back.
What's
That's what
useful on the moon, like
that's
starting
what
a colony?
I don't know. That's what I don't know yet.
I mean, it
It's-
seems like it'd be more useful to go to Mars.
It might be more useful to go to Mars. The problem is sending people to Mars. We've still got some problems.
Well, as I understand it, like they were talking about sending people to Mars and not bringing them back.
Yeah, I'm not for that idea. I wouldn't do it.
Well,
Now,
I
if
can
somebody
think of a
else
few-
wants to,
I can think of a few people we could send.
well, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, turn it into a penal colony.
Well, it wasn't Mars, but I remember that was the beginning of The Moon is a Harsh Mistress.
Yeah,
Like, it
okay.
started as a penal colony. You know, the first time I heard the word penal, I was pretty young and took it the wrong way.
Oh,
Yeah, same here.
alrighty. That's penile.
Yes, but still, I don't know. You
Yeah.
know what? I think they should name that school LMN Tree.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Yeah, I see.
Elementary School. I think that'd be a good one. I don't know.
Well, Dear Watson.
Hmm?
Dear Watson.
Oh, okay, sure. Hmm. I don't know.
Oh my.
I like the schools in my area, at least the elementary schools, actually all the schools were pretty unimaginative. I mean, like there was Orchard School, Central School, and Chamberlain. Like those were all the elementary schools, and then everyone just went to South Burlington Middle School and South Burlington High School. It was like, okay, but at least it wasn't one of those things like in New York City where everything is, you know, PS 128 and all that shit.
Yeah, well, when you have so many schools, you start running out of names.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you have the Catholic schools, Our Lady of Great Agony and
Our Lady of Perpetual Motion.
There you go. Yeah.
Actually, there were some like religious schools around here. Christ the King was one of them. And I'm pretty sure that Rice was it's a high school, not the college. Was religious.
Okay.
I think there were others, but I'm blanking. I forget. I think Edmonds was an elementary school, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't religious, but that was also where the kids that went to catechism came from. Like I remember I went to the YMCA after school program, right, when I was in elementary school, and there were these kids who would show up in these goofy looking uniforms, and like they said they were coming from catechism. Now, I did not know what the frick that was. In fact, it was quite some time before I learned what it was. So I was very curious, but like I'm pretty sure those kids were going to Edmonds, but I think that catechism was separate from Edmonds, that it was something they did like after school, which is weird because there was the after school program they were going to. I never really understood it.
Always sounds like some kind of torture place to me.
What, catechism?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always thought it had something to do with cats.
Okay.
I mean, until I learned what it was.
Yeah, that was the interesting thing in the Catholic school system. They made a point of teaching us the etymology of catechism. Their little story about how it came from catacombs, which was where the Christians would hide when they were persecuted. Never mind that the persecution really didn't exist to the extent that they said it did. But
now, half of my family is Jewish, and there's something I've often wondered. Why the hell would you make a dreidel out of clay? Every
okay.
dreidel I ever saw was wooden or plastic. And
Yeah.
I'm sure probably when that song was written, they didn't have plastic, but still, wooden dreidels seem more likely than clay.
I am not knowing Antuintu.
I mean, it's just hard to picture a dreidel that's made out of pottery. Unless it's some sort of clay that I don't know about, like it's not the kind of clay that they fire in a kiln these days that they made us do in like summer camp or whatever. Maybe it was a different kind of clay. I don't know. I mean, I remember making horrible mugs for parents, that kind of thing,
Oh, Lord, yeah. Well, when I was in summer camp, they had us make checkerboards.
Oh, wow. We never did that. Actually, most of the summer camps I went to, we didn't do that sort of thing. It was only like the day camps,
Oh, okay.
I did go to sleepaway camp a couple of times.
I went once. I was not all that impressed.
Camp Wanahakalugi?
Yeah, huh?
I don't know. It's fun. I never went to a camp that had a Native American name. Like the typical thing. Friend of mine went to Camp Abenaki, but I never went to. I went to Camp Greylock, and I went to Rowe, like ROWE. That was it.
Okay.
Well, not just it. There was another camp I went to, but it was at this sort of hippy-dippy university. It was at, what the hell is it called? Goddard College? Right? And it was silly, but they did not have one of those names. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and there was another camp I went to at Champlain College. It was funny. It was a sleepaway camp, but it's in Burlington, Vermont. So if I wanted to, I could have slept at home. But instead, I slept, at the college, in the college dorms. It was kind of funny to me. Like most of the kids were from out of town, even out of state. And I'm sitting there going, I know exactly where everything is. You want to go downtown with me? That kind of thing.
Well, I don't know. It's the experience, right? being
Well,
away
yeah,
from home.
but it was still, it amused me. I was like, I'm going to sleepaway camp in my hometown, basically.
Yeah.
You know.
I was not all that impressed with summer camp, sleepaway camp.
I was glad to be away from my parental units for a while.
Well, I mean, that was a great part, let me tell you. That was, I think, one of the few things I actually liked about it. But the other problem with it is it was a CYO camp, uh,
What's that?
Catholic Youth Organization. So take
That
it
was
from
a.
there. Yeah, huh?
Now, okay, here's something that bothers me a bit is like when parents send their kids to boarding school, so they don't even see their kids for most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that be a little weird?
Well, I'd have loved it, but aside
Well,
from
I mean,
that,
like for the parents, actually. I'm sure the kids probably love it because their parents are probably like, well, parents, right? They're probably an inhibiting force, even if they're not worse than that. But for the parents, it's like you had these kids, but you really only had them for a couple of years, and now you only see them 3 months out of the year, if that. It'd be almost like not having kids.
I think that might be the point in many cases where the kids are sent away to boarding school because they would otherwise interfere with the parents' lives. The parents were having kids because they were supposed to have heirs or something.
That's kind of
Other,
fucked up.
yeah, and it don't.
Yeah. I mean, like, I understand the parents who send their kid to military school because their kid's a screw up. But, other than that,
Yeah, and in some cases that doesn't help.
well, I'm sure it
I
doesn't.
mean,
But
case in point, Donald J. Trump.
what, they send him to military school?
Yep.
But he had bone spurs.
Uh huh.
Looked like an asshole then too.
Hmm. I
Oh,
wonder if his parents were proud of him.
by what I've read, his parents barely knew. Well, they barely knew him. I mean, they knew he existed, but I mean, Fred Trump, be proud of anyone? Come on.
I don't know anything about his parents, really.
My understanding is his dad was a real jackass.
Hmm. I don't know, though. There's a lot of people who are like complete jackasses who love their kids because their kids are the same kind of jackass.
Okay,
Like they
yeah,
raise their kids to be the same kind of jackass as they are, and they're like proud of their kids who are spoiled brats or whatever, overprivileged.
okay.
I've heard of that.
I mean, I saw the the Fred and whatever the hell her name was, Trump's mother and father. I saw
Hmm.
them as very much resembling the parents in Dead Poet Society.
Oh, I haven't seen that in so long.
Oh man, that really really made a point to me. Where the kid puts a bullet in his own head.
I remember that. I don't really remember why, except I think he was gay or something.
Oh, he was going to be sent to a military school.
Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. Didn't he want to be an actor or something? His parents really didn't want that.
Yeah, there you go. And he snuck away to take a part in a neighboring school's play. And that's when his father decided he was going to go to a military school, and then he killed himself.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking he did it wrong because what he should have done was put a bullet through his father's head and then tortured and disfigured his mother such that no man would ever want her again.
And
'Cause
then
she,
what? Put a bullet in his own head because you're going to prison for that shit?
pretty much, yeah.
I don't know. Personally, I would have just run away.
I don't know how far he would have been able to get. I mean, it would have been worth it if he could have got far enough away.
Or if he was determined to kill himself, just do it right in front of his parents. I mean, tell me that wouldn't haunt them.
Well, the way they wrote Daddy, it might have haunted him. Yeah, because he was all in tears and holding his son's head in his lap and everything else like that. Um, Now, his mother had no mind of her own.
Hmm.
You could easily see that. I don't know if she would have been able to be hurt.
Well, it's fine. I keep remembering this movie. It was a bit different, called Toy Soldiers. It had like Sean Astin and Will Wheaton in it. And it's like all these overprivileged kids at a boarding school that gets taken over by terrorists or some shit. And what I remember best is that, like, Will Wheaton was very defiant because his parents were royal dicks. And so at one point, he basically commits suicide by terrorist because he like grabs a machine gun, starts shooting at the terrorists, and they take him out.
Okay.
And like you see his dad going, "Oh shit, I kind of drove him to this."
Okay.
But
Okay.
most of the story was about the kids defeating the terrorists. But Will Wheaton's plot line, his story arc in that one was pretty tragic. At the same time, all of them are pretty overprivileged. So I mean, like watching it now, which I haven't done, I haven't seen it since the 90s. Or watching it now, I bet it wouldn't feel nearly as sympathetic.
Okay, then. I like that, Lagarty. Says my school was Anglo-Catholic, so I left with a double master's in guilt. Yeah, they were good with that, weren't they?
No, I'm glad I was not raised religious. So glad.
I don't know why it is, or how it came to be, let's put it that way, that I made my escape. Um, it's not for lack of their trying. The slimy bastards might not have been able to recite a plank of Catholic doctrine to save their lives, but they did have that part of the club mentality. And Catholicism was the club, so you had to be part of that club. And somehow I managed to escape, and I'm so happy I did.
Well, my parents made a lot of mistakes, but not forcing religion on me wasn't one of them.
Yay, I am so happy for you. I really am.
My mom and her older sister went into Catholic school, and that was the end of it with those two.
No, I don't know. I mean, like, they didn't know that, I'm autistic. They didn't really know what autism was. In fact, most people probably associated autism with Down syndrome back in that day.
Yeah.
But my parents did think about sending me to an alternative school because of my interactions with the other kids, which were not great. But the problem was that all of the other schools had uniforms, and I said, fuck that. Because, you know me, I'm a bit compoundophobic. I don't like buttons at all. I hate collars. I hate formal clothing in general. But also, I didn't like the idea of being officially not normal. Like, I don't like being normal, but at the same time, I wanted a normal childhood as best I could get. Of course, that was difficult with hippies as parents, but still,
Mm-hmm.
I remember my high school was talking about maybe going to a uniform. I told them, well, if you want me in a uniform, you're going to hold me down and put me in it.
I don't know. I figure if they tried to stick me in a uniform, I would have shown up in a uniform from a movie or something. I'm like, okay, here I am in a uniform as an X-Wing pilot. Fuck you. Here I am in one of those jumpsuits the NASA shuttle crew wore, that kind of thing.
There you go.
I might pull something like that, though,
Who's tearing the place apart? I hear rattle, rattle, rattle.
Yeah, I'm drawing the shades. Apparently, you can see into my place even from the ground, so.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. So they can see you cooking meth in there, huh?
Well, you know, if I'm gonna walk around naked,
Okay.
which I'm not. I mean, but then again, sometimes I do take showers and I don't always get dressed immediately. I'll walk around in a towel or whatever, you know.
Oh, shut up, Clarion.
But still, it's, you know, when the sun is completely down, I draw the shades, draw the blinds, whatever. And then I put them down after I've, you know, put the pad and pencil away.
There you go.
Where am I exactly? I assume you mean me. Well, I'm not going to dox myself, but I'm in South Burlington, Vermont. It's where I was raised, if you can call it that. Actually, as much as my dad's been here helping me move, my mom has been still in Mexico, but she's coming to Vermont today. In fact, she's probably there already. I know my dad's picking her up, so.
Well, just so he doesn't throw his back out.
I was thinking something similar. But I wasn't going to say it.
Oh.
Well, not every bad thought or pun has to be said.
Just thought.
You know,
Yeah, think it very loudly.
But, I mean, it's not like I expect my neighbors to go peeping into my windows. They could only see me from a very specific couple of places, but still.
What, honey? And she wants lap.
Yeah.
She's a good kitty. She's the bestest kitty. Yeah.
Columbia looks really uninterested in lap sits. Although she was trying to demand them while I was playing that Metroid game, and I'm like, you would be an inhibiting force, and I'm like, you know, holding a controller and moving it around rather vigorously as I try to beat this frickin' boss. Somehow I didn't think she'd be comfortable.
What are you doing, honey?
You know what, Jackson? I'm not sure I agree that "Shut Up, Wesley" was the most memorable line, because a lot of people are like, "There are 4 lights." That one.
Oh, that's one I do know.
Though
Yeah.
interestingly enough, that "There Are 4 Lights" actually comes from 1984.
Also, Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra is another one that people remember a lot. I'm not sure "Shut Up, Wesley" is the one that is the most memorable. Oh, here comes Columbia. Hey, baby.
Kittiness.
Oh, she wants to be petted, doesn't she? Yes, she does. Oh, and of course, Xander the attention whore is over here trying to make sure he's the one who gets lap sits.
Of course, of course. He wants to get pedicated.
Pedicated. I see what you did there.
Yes. And then you always get pedicated. Yeah, you do.
Oy. My energy level is still pretty low. Like, I've really pushed myself too hard with all the bike riding and blading and virtual reality and stuff. Need a couple of days off, I think.
Oh my, oh my.
I mean,
Yeah.
tomorrow I'm sure I'm gonna go, like, say hi to Mom and all that stuff, but at some point I really should start animating again.
Yeah, at some point. Well, when do your folks go back to Mexico?
October.
6 weeks too long for a vacation yet?
Oh, they're gonna be here. I mean, I know they don't want to be here during winter time. I'm a little scared of winter, actually. Although I'm told it hasn't been nearly as cold as it was when I was younger, but still.
Well, I'm going to guess that it's a bit colder than it currently is in San Diego.
Almost certainly, but still.
Yet whether you have minus 40-degree winters, I don't know.
Well, we won't be having that, I guarantee it. I mean, okay, let's put it this way. There was a time when Lake Champlain would freeze such that you could drive a car on it. Heck, some people would commute across it in their vehicles, right? Now, forget it. Not going to happen. It doesn't freeze like that anymore.
Okay.
So, I will admit, in a way, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing December out of my windows. Like, it's been a long time since I've had a white Christmas.
Well, let's see how long that lasts. Huh?
Well, I mean, I've always felt it'd be okay to snow like a week before Christmas until the day after New Year's. After that, I don't want to see any snow.
Okay. Somehow I don't think you're going to get that.
No, I don't think so either. But still, I mean, I do feel about snow the way Anakin Skywalker feels about sand.
Okay, then.
You know, very similarly, there's a theme to be sensed. But I don't know. It's just been so long. I mean, Seattle barely ever got snow. San Diego got hail once. That's about it.
Oh my. Okay, who do you ask of that, Waggerty? Have you ever considered Minsk?
No. No, I have not. It's funny, I remember like way back in the 80s. I mean, video games were pretty primitive, but there was one called Raid Over Moscow. I'm pretty sure at one point you got to attack Minsk in that game.
Oh, okay. Oh, a Star Trek line. Well, it's certainly not the original series.
Well, of course not.
It's the one I know best.
Yeah, but that's also the crappy one, and it had Shatner in it.
Okay, yeah, you got that point there.
Let's face it, at one point they took a dog and stuck a plastic horn on its head and said that's an alien.
Yeah.
Although I have to say, the best Star Trek is definitely the Orville.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so Jackson says winter's gotten amazingly milder in, what is that, Salt Lake City? Over the last 10 years. I won't say amazingly. Yeah, I'm expecting not necessarily 90 degrees Fahrenheit, but yeah, milder winters.
You know, it's funny. I've been in Salt Lake City. It was for an atheist convention. Never left the hotel.
Okay.
I mean, like, well, actually, I may have, actually. Now that I think about it, that may have been the first time that I did fondue and archery.
Okay.
But other than that, actually, I wonder, like, because we've got a few new people in the chat, I wonder how many people have heard the fondue and archery story.
I can think of one who probably hasn't.
Well, long story short, a friend of mine said, hey, a bunch of us are going to get fondue and archery. You want to come? And I was like, okay. And I spent the whole day thinking, like, that seems a weird combination. I like fondue. I like archery. Why not? And then, you know, when it was time to go, my friend's like, okay, you ready to go for fondue? I was like, sure. And he goes, don't worry, our treat. And I was like, oh, archery. Got it. You know, so like I told him about it, and it became a tradition, you know, to get fondue and archery. So, yeah.
That would make a decent combination, though.
It'd be fun, I have to admit.
Shish kebab and archery.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose it would be the other way around, wouldn't it? Archery and shish kebab.
Yes. Yeah. You eat what you hit.
It was a very long time before I knew what shish kebab was. Like, you hear the term all the time, but it was never really, like, defined in the TV shows or whatever that made reference to it. So, when I finally found out, I was like, oh, that's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Like it got all built up, and then it was kind of like that time I watched a lot of Red Dwarf, and Lister was constantly mentioning eating vindaloo. And when I finally had vindaloo, I was like, oh, is that all? And I definitely prefer chicken tikka masala.
Okay.
There's actually an Indian restaurant I tried here recently, and I mean, the chicken tikka masala was pretty good. But the appetizers, they gave me so much chicken pakora, it was basically a meal unto itself. I ended up taking some home.
Okay.
It's like one of the few places in town, I mean, because Vermont has gotten expensive since I left. It's one of the few places in town where you can buy a meal and really feel like you got your money's worth.
Okay, then. And that's an important thing.
Mm-hmm. And Xander is licking my arm. Aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And not just the Krellbo. He's actually going to town on my bicep.
I don't know. When he works his way up to your armpit, then I start worrying.
Yeah, I don't really let my cat lick or even paw at anything that can be described as a pit. George Carlin did make a good point that you have 2 armpits, but only 1 leg pit.
I don't know. Is it 1 leg pit, or is it 2 that are sort of kind of combined into one?
I'm going to say it's 1.
Okay.
Although, I mean, thinking about it, given the way that arms swivel versus the way legs swivel, you might almost say that the spot in the back where your leg meets your tuchus is actually the pit.
Oh, yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Now, here's oh, wait a minute, maybe this was the thing. Okay, because my dad and I were talking and we were bullshitting around, and I came up with something that I thought would make a good episode of Head Meats, and I could not remember what it was. I think it was this. You notice how your lap is conditional? You stand up, and your lap goes away. You don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And how far do you have to sit down? How far do you have to bend your legs at the hips before you have a lap again? Does it still count as a lap if you're on your back? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
What if you're on all 4s? Do you now have a vertical lap? Do you have a lap at all?
Man, I could just hear George Carlin delivering that. It's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, that was one thing my dad said that, actually, is like, you and George Carlin, your minds work the same. And I was like, I'll take that as a compliment.
Absolutely.
All right, I got to write that down because I had forgotten it and didn't write it down.
Now, Head Meats, is that 3-panel?
Oh, no, I'm animating that now.
Oh, okay.
Surely you saw. Like, I've put out 2 episodes of Head Meats. Did you see the one about the rocket boats?
Yeah, I did see the one. I didn't remember it being animated for some reason.
Well, I mean, I did it as a comic, but I also, it's my most recent video. Or no, well, the video before the one where I'm throwing axes. It's my most recent animated video, the one immediately after the Quinn Redshift trailer.
Well, Bloggerty, I'm going to take your comment as a compliment, and thank you. Yeah, this is what we do here. I would certainly hope you keep coming by. It's great to have you.
Like, seriously, you didn't see my latest Head Meats video? Really?
When did you put it out?
Like June 25th?
I have to have seen it then, and I just don't remember it.
All right. To the YouTube gods, I made this. I give permission to show it on this channel.
I love futuristic technology, even if I have no idea how it works. I've always dreamed about spaceships and jetpacks. I don't want to make nifty devices. I just want to play with them. And I have questions. You see, new devices often change how we live life, and new rules become necessary. Like if I had really cool rocket boots that let me fly all over the place, with the whole sky to play with, crashing into someone else isn't very likely. A building, maybe, but not another person or anything on the ground. So suppose I had some really cool rocket boots. Nifty, right? And now that I'm not a danger to traffic when across the street, you'd think I wouldn't have to use a crosswalk. So, how high off the ground do I have to be for it to not be jaywalking anymore? I'm not even sure who needs to hear that question before I get an answer. Probably need to invent the rocket boots first before anyone else even thinks of it. Bye!
I have definitely seen that, and I just did not remember that it was animated.
Yeah, well, that...
Uh-oh. She broke.
Okay.
I don't know. That was the internet gods telling her that her stuff sucked.
That was me hitting the wrong, like closing the wrong window.
Oh no.
Yeah, but
Well,
that
but
is
that-
my most recent non-axe throwing vid.
Okay then, yeah, I definitely saw that one. I just didn't remember it being animated.
Unfortunately, it came across with an echo.
I really should mute my microphone when I do that, but still.
What the heck?
Move beef?
There's some weird sounds coming from your end,
Oh,
Diana.
I'm typing.
From my end?
Yeah.
I don't hear anything weird. I wonder what it could be.
Seems to have stopped now.
That's because I muted my microphone. I was typing.
I saw Diana's little thing going in the corner there.
Okay, I don't see my thing because I have it hidden. And it doesn't show up on the YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. It's funny, now that Xander's on my lap, I'm kind of hungry.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had a bowl of cereal.
Speaking of which, like, I have some of my favorite cereal here. You know, I like Crispix, but I also have a box of Vanilla Life cereal.
I saw that, and I've not had the inclination to try it yet.
Well, you
Never
know
had
me, I
Vanilla Life
absolutely
cereal.
adore vanilla. It's one of my favorite flavors, maybe my very favorite flavor, although garlic might be more, I don't know, I haven't decided. But I had to try it. Doesn't taste enough like vanilla for me.
Oh,
But
okay.
there are a couple of creamy stands around here that make the most flavorful vanilla that I've ever tasted. And like, I love this stuff. It's just so good. And I think that may be one of the reasons why people call vanilla plain, which they fucking shouldn't do, is that, like, there's just not enough vanilla in things to make it taste good. You know, it is kind of plain because they're not using enough of it.
Yeah, it does have a distinctive flavor. It does. Which
I
I
don't know,
rather like.
I think that if something is going to be described as plain, we should use the term white bread. Because you want to talk about plain, unadored white bread is fucking plain.
Yeah, huh?
Kellogg's cereal.
Well, you know what? Cheerios. I will not eat Cheerios. They're so bland.
I feed those regular Cheerios to my bird.
Well, the Cheerios I don't think are too bad as long as you put like half a cup of sugar in a
So
bowl.
basically make them not taste like Cheerios anymore.
Right.
It's like they're a vessel for the actual food.
Yeah, sort of like tofu.
Ugh, I will not eat tofu. I mean, I'm sorry, but even if you spice it up, it's still a foam mattress. A soggy foam mattress. Fuck tofu.
I heard there's unsafe levels of heavy metal in baby food now.
Oh, come on. What's wrong with heavy metal? Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, you know. Metallica. There should be a lot of Metallica in baby food.
94% of the baby foods tested had unsafe levels of heavy metals in them.
Oh, jeez.
Well, I didn't actually read the article because I think it was behind a paywall or something, but apparently rainwater is not safe to drink anywhere in the world anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
plastics.
There's some plastic precursor that it's not so much that the level in the atmosphere or the environment or whatever is that high. It's that the chemicals last for decades, if not centuries, and can then build up.
Well, I understood centuries, but it sounded like you were trying to say decades and failed.
Yeah, a decade.
Nah, decade.
Täytyy korostua.
Honestly, I'll never understand that. It sounds so douchey.
Moo. What is this?
And let's see.
Totally got into an argument on Twitter, good-natured, of course, but still an argument about, you know, like trolleys versus shopping carts versus baskets.
yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
You know, I forget exactly what I said, but I got one of the people who was insisting that a shopping cart is a trolley to agree that a trolley is a trolley and not a tram. Because for some reason, like shopping cart, they decided shopping cart was better than something someone else had suggested. I forget exactly how it worked out, but I got someone to agree that a trolley is a fucking trolley, not and the shopping cart isn't.
The cart is the thing you push. The basket is the thing you carry. And the trolley is the thing you ride in.
Exactamundo. Also, it's called soda, not pop. You frickin' barbarians. Pop is a nickname for dad or what weasels do in songs. It's not fizzy sugar drinks. And I will never understand the people in the South who call every soda Coke. What the hell is wrong with you people?
You ever seen that one lady? I think she's Japanese. She's trying to speak English, and she's calling a Coke cock.
No, I've missed that one. And there was a Joe Lycett routine. He's a British comedian, and apparently, like, I think it's his brother or a friend of his or something is like fluent in Japanese, and so he teaches Japanese people to speak English. And one of the projects was to write a strongly worded letter to a business associate or someone that you're complaining to. And like the one of the people who wrote a letter, she wrote like, "Dear Mr. Businessman, you daft bastard."
No.
and like she signed it off with "fuck you," sincerely this or something like it was this horrible letter, but it was hilarious the way she wrote it because it was supposed to be. Oh no, wait, she signed it off with like "fuck you, Bob's your uncle" or something like that.
Oh, jeez, okay.
It was this crazy letter.
Oh my, Bloggerty, what brought that on? I may have to go looking for it.
Ah, yes, letter of complaint. That's what it was called. Let's see. Can I get it in text? Because I'm pretty sure I can't just. Oh man, I don't know. Is that this might be it. I can't just post the video, I'm sure, but no, that's the parking fine one. Oh, that's a clip. Damn it. Oh well. If I find it, I'll read it, but
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yeah, okay. Because, yeah,
what's this now?
Jones and I got into a bit of it. I don't know if you had seen it, where we
Please give me cock. Cock. It's
That's it.
cock. It's in English.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing because of the thing, but you get the idea.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just keeps going on like that.
No, Jones and I got to arguing more than once about the southern border. Where he's, we need to build that wall.
God
We
damn
need
it.
to do all that Republican stuff, and it's like no, and well, oh well, what are you gonna do?
Damn it, I don't see it. Like in text. I'd have to post the video. Damn it.
Trump worship, huh? I'm amazed I lasted as long as I did over there. I'm definitely not a Trump supporter, if you haven't noticed.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah, ain't it something? Kiddiness over here.
I think I need to restart my computer or something. It's been running a little sluggish today.
Well, I'm noticing that Windblows has been running sluggishly for me for the last, I don't know, say about 3 or 4 weeks. Just suddenly started, and I can't think of anything I did to make it do that.
Damn. I don't see it. I'd have to play the video. That stinks. Oh well.
Have you shut the computer down at any point?
Well, I mean, I always turn it off before I go to bed.
Hmm.
And then, when I go between systems, because, well, this particular machine is a triple boot, and my other one is a double boot. What do we have here? Hi, Red.
No, actually, I don't know why you said that with a Canadian accent, but it's about. I'm kidding.
Wait, what do they say?
You said boot, and I'm like, no.
Oh, Madagascar. Yeah.
Although actually, when I hear Canadians say about, it sounds more like a boat than a boot.
Yeah.
No, it's funny. In Red Dwarf, there's the mechanoid Crichton, who allegedly has a Canadian accent, but I hear nothing distinctly Canadian about his accent at all. He sounds more American than Canadian.
Okay.
Their accents mixed up?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they got it mixed up or if they just don't know what sounds. I mean, I'm sure there's parts of Canada where they don't really have much of an accent. I mean, hell, why am I blanking? Neil, the 604 atheist, barely has an accent at all.
Well, he's in BC.
This is my point, is maybe Crichton's supposed to be from British Columbia.
Okay.
But they say he has a Canadian accent, and I just don't hear it.
Now Shannon Q has a definitely audible accent, but then again, she's from the other side of the country.
Yowza! Hold on, I'm gonna take this.
Okay. Guess that was important.
Somebody she recognizes.
Hope that was good.
It was a Washington State number. I used to live in Seattle, but it was that robot guy who sounds like a football coach. You know the one?
No.
Oh, it's like he goes, "Is the head of the household there?" And you can say yes or no, and he responds as if you really. But it's clear he's on a loop.
Okay.
Like it's clear that you're talking to a robot.
Okay.
Yeah. But there was a comic I saw recently. It wasn't about Canadian accents, or maybe it was a little bit, but it was actually about Australian accents and how they say hello.
I don't know if I know this one.
Let me see if I can find it. Whoops, I should type in comic.
Well, since we're talking about Canadians,
There
William
it is.
Shatner's Canadian.
What?
William Shatner's Canadian.
Yeah, and he's not just Canadian, he's a Quebecer. Alright, here we go. Because this is just a little too true. And when you hear Upside Down Jen speak, you can totally hear that weird R sound at the end of words. Almost
Oh,
like you
yeah.
Boston.
Yeah.
It's like American, British, and Australian. We're all cousins. Hello, cousins. Hello. Hello. You know? And it's just so freaking true, isn't it?
Oh my. And then there's this kitten over here. Are you an Australian kitten? Do you say Marar?
Well, Dan Aykroyd's also Canadian.
Yep.
Yeah. Jim Carrey as well. Like, there's a lot of actors and strangely few actresses, I think, who have made a name for themselves in the United States who most people don't realize are Canadian. I mean, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Also, a weirdly high number of American TV shows are filmed in either Vancouver or Toronto. Mostly Vancouver, but a lot of them are in Toronto.
Well, they do quite a bit of lobbying to have those shows, don't they?
I guess so. I don't know. It just seems weird to me that, like, you know, there's probably a bunch of American actors who never expected to be living in Canada, but their show got, like, shot there, so. I wonder if they commute or if they get a house.
I'm trying to remember. Al was telling me that his wife was working on a show in Vancouver, and I think she took an apartment there.
I don't even know who he's married to.
I forget her name. Damn it.
Actress, producer, what?
Yes.
Not helpful.
No, I think she's both.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's funny to me how, actors, celebrities always seem to end up with other celebrities. There's only a few I can point to who didn't.
Oh, here we go. Mirel Enos.
Okay. I don't know that name. Wow, dude's got like 4 kids.
Yeah. 2 from each.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, it's at least 3 too many, but who am I?
Well, this wife of his was in Good Omens. She played War. All right. I gotta watch that again. That was a fun show. Allegedly, they're making a sequel, which is weird because there was never a book sequel, as far as I know.
Okay.
It looks like she wasn't in anything else I've seen.
Okay.
His first wife does not have an IMDb link. I don't know who she is.
Oh, Claudia Stephanie you're speaking of, yeah.
Yeah, never heard of her.
I'm trying to remember if she did any acting. She probably didn't. But the lack of an IMDb entry would be,
Yeah. Haha, I have more IMDb entries than his wife. Well,
yeah.
yeah.
At the risk of mentioning William Shatner again, and possibly risking my own life at the hands of Kate,
Uh-oh.
I finally figured out what the hell he was talking about when he said, Star Trek. When did Star Trek get political?
Okay.
Apparently, he's separating the concept of something being political and social commentary. Because I'm looking at his reply he has to the meme was, when did Star Trek get political? And you have the person, you were there, pointing to one of the shows, and those were social commentaries was his response.
I mean, he's probably associating with woke.
Maybe. Though I'm seeing somebody else was posted down here, they may kind of clear up what he's talking about. The work of social commentary is one that critiques aspects of society in order to highlight their flaws and hopefully prevent them from continuing. I mean, this can include politics, but it doesn't need to. So I'm guessing where he's coming from with that.
Well, but okay, granted, I have not been watching Star Trek since I guess Enterprise. Anything before Discovery is the last Trek I watched, and I'm wondering, I'm assuming it's after Discovery that it got quote unquote political. But
yeah, he's talking about Discovery forward.
I wish I had some specifics because I don't know what's being accused of being political.
I'm not really sure either. Maybe one of the people when they were working on Discovery, they were talking about how they're trying to make the Klingons basically be a representation of Trump.
Oh.
This might be one of the things he's talking about.
Well, I have to admit, if we're going to be talking about that, Homelander is the best representation of Trump in fiction that I've seen. I mean, if you've been watching The Boys.
I hate to admit it, but you were right about that one.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, it's almost 1-to-1 except for the superpowers and how chubby he is.
I guess
And
it was.
Donald Trump was never an attractive man as far as I could tell, but my gosh, did he turn into a potato.
I'll try and avoid spoilers, but I guess the reason why I didn't see it is I understand how they take him in the comic book, and it fits with what they were doing in the show.
I really should read the comic at some point, but I want to wait until the show is done before I do. I've given my reasons before.
For you, I would definitely recommend waiting until after the show is done.
Yeah.
Because they've made a lot of changes.
Hmm.
I haven't read the whole thing either, but I've read enough.
I think perhaps the only, the closest to screen accurate translation of, a printed work to screen that I've ever seen has to be the Watchmen movie. That was the closest I've ever seen.
I remember people complaining about how they changed the ending.
I thought the ending was better, frankly.
So did I.
I mean, it made so much more sense. They tied everything. They made Dr. Manhattan's leaving make sense. But anyway.
Move.
It made more sense than giant space squid.
Yeah, what the hell was that about?
I'm not
Also,
sure.
though, someone pointed out that the end of Watchmen is completely inaccurate to reality, given what happened with COVID, that people would not come together against a common threat, that they totally wouldn't, and it's true. There's that meme that's going around, if there was ever a zombie apocalypse, Like all the anti-vaxxers would go running out to get bit by zombies to prove it's not real.
Interestingly enough, in my little zombie story, I have an entire cult that like worships being bitten.
I've seen something like that with vampires, which makes frankly much more sense, but still. Because, I mean, let's face it, becoming a vampire seems a hell of a lot more attractive than becoming a zombie.
Yeah, true.
I don't know. I mean, well, hell, there was an episode of Buffy like that, though, where a bunch of people wanted to be bit by vampires, but instead they ended up being fed upon.
Yeah. I think I remember that episode vaguely.
It was like one of the early episodes with Spike.
Yeah, I really gotta go back and rewatch that series. It's been so long.
I hate to say it hasn't aged very well. I mean, maybe I need to get past the first 2 seasons, but it really just, I don't know, it lost some of its magic for me.
Moo.
Oh, apparently saying I never heard of him makes Blargety here melt. I don't know, I've always sort of liked that sort of New York Italian Jewish accent. You know, there's something about it. Maybe because I was raised by an Italian and a Jew who, like, not New York City, but still New York State. So I heard enough of that from the relatives, you know. I'm gonna be right back. I want some more of that pizza.
And then when you get back with the pizza, I will head out for some coffee.
I made some mac and cheese for myself for dinner.
Oh, your special homemade mac and cheese?
Yeah.
All right.
Came out real good this time, too.
So, I got the, like one of those Newman's Own pepperoni pizzas, and cooking it up in the air fryer takes like 6 minutes. It's crazy. And I dumped a bunch of black olives all over it.
You would, yeah. Why not? But fried pizza, that's interesting.
Well, the air fryer has a pizza mode, and toast, and a whole bunch of others.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just frying.
I really should look into getting one of those.
It's amazingly efficient. You have no idea.
That's true.
Seriously, frozen to ready. Granted, I'm discounting the preheating process, but frozen to ready to eat is like 6 minutes. No, the cats are already starting to beg for the midnight meal.
Yeah.
I always
Another
feed
3
them
hours to go here.
Like, just as I go to bed, I feed them, and they start bitching around about 9.
I don't know.
They're still on Seattle time, Seattle time, or
Well, actually, the dude who transported them, slowly over time, as he crossed time zones, would feed them, you know, like earlier and earlier to get them used to Eastern time.
Oh, that's nice.
Don't know Grimm. But I can guarantee you this. I'm not a fan of grim things. I like my fiction a bit lighter than that. So.
It's. I'm not sure if you like that or maybe. I had trouble getting into it. I've seen like the first episode or 2.
What's the premise?
Sort of a Buffy premise. Is basically the Grimm fairy tale monsters. And he's fighting them. This guy's fighting them, kind of thing.
Huh. Okay. No, I've noticed that a lot of people these days are taking older stories, older characters, you know, with a lot of established lore, and then making their own version of it. Especially Neil Gaiman. That seems to be his shtick.
No, that was his. He was a descendant from a long line of warriors.
Well, I mean, it's a time-honored tradition. What would Shakespeare have written were it not for pre-existing stories?
I don't know, something worth reading?
In some cases, that's going to point to it.
I wonder if anyone's ever reworked Romeo and Juliet to have a happy ending.
Is it possible to do that while still being Romeo and Juliet?
All I have to do is just not get them killed. Like, you know, if there's a happily ever after where Romeo and Juliet get together instead of dying.
That sounds
Apparently-
almost like, isn't there something out there that is called Unhappily Ever After or something? It's the Cinderella story after the ending that we all know.
Apparently, a comic book writer did create a Romeo and Juliet, giving it a happy ending called Romeo and/or Juliet by Ryan North.
You know what would be funny to me is to mash together all of Shakespeare's characters and scenarios and stuff and make them like interact or fight or whatever.
Okay.
It would make me laugh. Like, what if Romeo and Juliet took place in Denmark? I actually have no idea what the story is for Othello, though. Like, I've heard of it, but my association with Othello is that weird board game that kind of looks like it wants to be backgammon.
Yeah, the one where you're changing colors all the time.
It's the only reference I have for it.
Okay, looks like it has Romeo and Juliet fighting ninjas.
That's hard to picture. Especially, like, I mean, isn't Juliet supposed to be like 13 years old?
Something like that, yes.
Now, I have seen Taming of the Shrew reworked as a high school movie.
Okay.
And
It's called 10 Things I Hate About You.
And they made Juliet a teenage bodybuilder
Huh.
who guzzles protein shakes.
Wow. Okay. I don't know. Dunk.
Patra de Capalocosta.
It's apparently a scene from the comic right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
All right.
Not sure what to make of this.
I mean, it seems weird that there's ninjas, but all right.
Yeah.
I forget, where does Romeo and Juliet take place in England? For some reason, I want to say Italy.
I think it was Italy.
Italy?
I think.
You might be right about that.
In Rome, isn't it?
I'm looking.
I don't know. I remember when I was way too young for it. My parents made me sit through West Side Story. All I remember is the finger snapping, and at one point, one dude goes, "But Riff and Nardo," or whatever the guy's name was.
Okay, then. Oh, my. Okay, what do we have here? Yep. Verona, northern Italy.
Yeah.
There we go. Makes sense. The high school or it was either the high school or one of the students in 10 Things I Hate About You is named Verona. I don't know. Not a fan of Shakespeare. I like to call him Billy Wagglepike.
Oh, I rather liked the Shakespeare that I've seen.
Mm.
Now, I had to read it first.
No, that's their first problem.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've said it before, I'll say it again. School does its damnedest to beat the joy of reading out of kids by making them read stuff they really don't want to read.
I remember my dad wasn't a fan of Shakespeare either.
And I don't know how, but somebody in, like, one of the teachers in my school managed to get them to have a sci-fi fantasy class, like an English class. That introduced me to so many books. You have no idea.
Moo.
And a lot of authors too. I think it was when I read Rendezvous with Rama the first time was in that class. Pretty sure I read The Moon is a Harsh Mistress. Almost guarantee I read Stranger in a Strange Land for the first time in that class. Might have read Lord of the Rings, but I don't know. I recently tried to read The Hobbit, which I know I'd read before, and just could not get through it. It's absolutely, like, the writing style is terrible. I just can't do it. But also it was weird to me because, like, the orcs and trolls and shit don't have names like Grognak or whatever, you know? Like, they're named Derek and Chris or something, you know? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I like the stuff that grew out of Lord of the Rings, the stuff that was inspired by it, authors who went, ooh, I want to write my own fantasy thing. But, like Tolkien, I don't know. Not really a fan of Arthur C. Clarke, actually. I feel like he wrote books because he wanted to write about science and threw characters in as an afterthought because he just needed people there to hold the guns or the microscopes or whatever.
Okay.
But, seriously, they're the most two-dimensional, if that, characters in say Rendezvous with Rama, for example. And I'm trying to remember, was he the one? No, Asimov is the one who wrote Foundation.
Yeah.
Same problem. Every chapter, like, you jump 600 years into the future or something, and all the characters you had met before are just gone. And for me, I latch on to characters. I read the books, like, at least half because I like the characters. So if they're just there as, like, tools, as meat robots to make action happen, and their personalities mean nothing, and their existence is just purely there because you have to have people that interact with stuff, interact with the world, I'm not into it.
Okay.
So, you know, some of the classic authors like Clarke and Asimov and all those guys, yeah, it is not for me.
I can get into some of that stuff.
Well, I mean, that's the thing for me. It's not science fiction. It's science fiction. You know? I mean, I like a world that is made up but has an internal consistency. For me, that's worth reading. But if it has to be like, oh, by the way, this could all actually happen, you could study it in a classroom, usually it's boring as fuck. I mean, let's face it, the real world is not nearly as exciting as, oh, say, the galaxy far, far away.
I don't know, sometimes it can be exciting.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example that of like a book I found entertaining that exclusively used real world science, and I'm having a hard time doing it.
Oh, here's a bit of interesting trivia for the Orville. Tom, the Admiral Halsey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, the first one we met, who gives Ed his commission.
Sure.
He's named after a real life admiral who commanded the USS Enterprise.
Yeah, Admiral Halsey, yeah.
Yeah, Halsey.
I don't know, well, I don't want to give out any spoilers, but you saw what happened to Admiral Perry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he, yeah.
Go watch the Orville, everybody.
Yes. Oh, such a great show. My dad is enjoying it, which I find very surprising.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm surprised one of my uncles has been getting into it.
I mean, like, we're just about to start season 2, and, you know, the comedy is about to be dialed way, way back. But, like, he sort of started wanting to watch the show because I was watching, I think it was the season 3 finale, I'm not sure. And he was like, oh my gosh, this is one of the smartest shows ever. I really dig this.
Yeah,
and
it is.
so, like, we started with season 1, and he's like, okay, this shit's hilarious. He's laughing his ass off. We just got to the episode where they played Latchcum. and he's just like doubled over with laughter. But now we're about to get to some of the smarter episodes, and I think he's going to dig those even more.
I can appreciate a show that doesn't talk down to its audience, even if I can't get into it myself.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit, that's one of my complaints about The Big Bang Theory is they always have to explain the science for the audience. Like, even if the characters clearly understand it, and frankly, so do I, they have to spell it out for the audience. And the Orville has been sort of not doing that, and I really like that.
That was actually something I appreciated with My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. I didn't get into the show, but I watched a few episodes, and it did not talk down to the audience.
I you know,
at least from what I saw.
I got really into that for a while, and then I forget what happened, but I stopped watching for a while, and now there's so much to catch up on that it feels like a chore. But I remember, like, again, I talk about how I love characters. Rainbow Dash was absolute. I love Rainbow Dash. But I mean, like, okay, she's blue, my favorite color. She can fly, and she's kind of a wise ass. And, you know, I've got a thing about wise ass pilots. Wash from Firefly, and Gordon on the Orville, and hell, even Tom Paris on Star Trek Voyager. You know, there's just something about, and Han Solo, come on. There's something about wise-ass pilots, and that's the only reason Gordon's my favorite character on the Orville. Otherwise, it would absolutely be Claire Finn.
And Rainbow Dash was clearly not a lesbian, even though she's clearly a lesbian.
Yeah. But it's weird, you know, now that I think about it, I mean, obviously, Claire kept her surname, I'm sure of it, because Isaac doesn't really have one. But I think it'd be hilarious if she took his name and it was like, you know, Claire 847392B, you know, or something like that. That would make me laugh.
Oh, my.
Anyway.
Yes.
I mean, it's funny, like, I'm of two minds about Isaac. I mean, people gave him one hell of a pass, except for Charlie, of course. Well, you know how that turned out. But I mean, like I like him as a character. I think he's very interesting, but he a little bit did kind of betray people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Although I have to say, the character that I still cannot forgive is Clyden. Clyden is such a butt munch. I mean, like, even if Bortus and Heltopa forgive him, I can't. He crossed way too many lines.
I felt they should have given him more of a personal, hands-on touch on him coming around.
Yeah.
Instead of just hearing it about it.
Yeah. But I mean, seriously, the things he said to Topa, I don't know how any kid could decide, okay, you're still my parent after that bullshit. I don't know.
Aucklands are more forgiving in that way?
I guess, but then again, look how they divorce each other.
Yeah.
I mean, jeez.
Or they throw dog poopy on their shoes?
No, they stab each other in the chest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly makes the divorce final.
Just a little
Usually,
bit.
yeah.
I don't know. The Mocklin culture is kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I was comparing them to be the Texas of the Planetary Union.
Fair enough. Although I love how oh, I'm a blank. Geez. Zalayan chick, not the new one. Why am I blanking? Alara. Alara's parents, like her dad says, ah, yes, the humans, the hillbillies of the galaxy.
Yeah.
You know.
I've gotten some mileage out of that.
Yeah, and I mean, I love that he was played by Robert Picardo. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, obviously he was the hologram on Voyager, but
Mhm.
I mean, he's in almost every Joe Dante movie, and I love Joe Dante movies. Like him and Dick Miller, for some reason, Joe Dante would cast them in everything he possibly could. Not anymore, of course, Dick Miller's dead, but still.
Oh, yeah. That's with Alara.
Ah.
Those farewells really emotional with him.
Mm. I never liked, like, okay, Alara as a character is okay, but I thought the actress just could not act.
Mm.
Like, there were a lot of times I felt she sounded like a kid in her high school play. But, like, there were a couple of lines where I was just like, oh, cringe. I definitely liked Hala better.
Yeah.
I love the relationship she had with John when he spat out those teeth. Oh my god. I died laughing.
I kind of like how she reacts with Bordis. She almost seems like she's almost laughing at him half the time when they're all together.
I mean, I like, okay, Bordis is weird. I've grown to really like him, but he's so stiff-necked, you know?
Yeah, that's his character.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not sure I could be friends with him, but he's a great character to watch.
Yeah.
Then again, I mean, if Gordon makes friends with him, but it seems like half the time Gordon's a little bit making fun of him. I mean, when he taught him that one song, the Celine Dion song for karaoke night, you know, it seemed like he did it kind of to set Bordis up to be laughed at. You know. And then there was that episode where they started making Bordis eat everything, you know, like he goes and replicates a cactus.
Yeah.
Man. It's funny, like, except for Claire now, it seems like, well, and Isaac, it seems like everyone's relationships, they go so wrong on that show.
Yeah, you had mentioned that just before I watched that episode of Tobaski and Gordon now. I was just watching that, just holding my head, like, oh, jeez.
I mean, Gordon handled it really well, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like, but poor Gordon. I mean, that relationship he had with What's-Her-Face, you know, from the cell phone. And that went bad twice, that poor guy.
Like, I do have to, I gotta give him props for backing up what he said to Toba later on in that episode. How, you know, he went to help her.
I don't remember precisely.
So he volunteered since she's like, hey, like my sister, or something like that.
Ow, Columbia, what the hell? Sorry, she stuck her claws in my thigh. I think she wants to be fed.
Yeah.
It's hours early, baby. You already ate at like 5 p.m. Come on.
Feed me or bleed.
I really should just wear thicker bottoms because she keeps scratching at my legs and these are very thin.
Coffee.
What are you doing having coffee at 9:30 p.m.?
Oh my, it's okay. It's next to zero caffeine.
Wow, your frame rate just went to hell.
What, when I plugged the headset in?
No, actually, it seemed to get better after that.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
And how about Domino? That episode was so epic.
Yeah. I felt like I was watching a movie more than an episode of a series.
Absolutely. My gosh.
They really should have switched those two episodes around 9 and 10.
oh,
I don't
look.
know, like at first I felt the same way, but right now I feel like they actually did the right thing. Because if they had ended with Domino, it really would have felt like there was a cliffhanger and season 4 is still up in the air. But like ending with the episode they did, it kind of feels like, sure, there's some loose ends, but you know, if they ended the series now, which I really hope they don't, it would be easier to take.
I didn't see you come in,
Oh.
Purple. Hi, honey.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
no,
think that was very, very recent.
Yes, about a
there
minute
wasn't
ago.
any sense of cliffhangers with that.
Well, I mean, let's face it, there's like, you know, the Krill and the Mocklins now to deal with.
Hmm.
I mean,
No, it's
that,
still-
that has
that's-
not been resolved.
Well, it's still there even with or without flipping the episodes.
Oh, well, yeah, it is, but I just felt like not ending with Domino meant it felt to me less like I'm going, but what happens next? You know, it was
Hmm.
like it didn't have that we're ending on a cliffhanger to make you watch the next season feel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hi, Johnny. I see you're new. How do I know that?
Johnny Repine, Rapine. I don't know how that's supposed to be pronounced.
I don't either. Kitty, hi.
Oh, hey, where have you been? You did shoot her a link, right?
I most certainly did.
Okay.
She was
What
over
about
on-
Perps?
She was on Godless Granny's thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and then-
right. Yeah, and then I did shoot Perps a link too.
Go. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna last, though. It's 9:30, and I have.
Well, I don't know how long I'm going to go either, because tomorrow's a dialysis day, and the neck is also giving me a hell of a time. Oh, Kitty, yay!
Well, I should probably like get some rest because I'm almost certainly seeing Mom tomorrow.
Yeah,
Oh, that ought to be
you know,
fun.
And
Alright.
you know what? It's gonna be the first time in like 3 fucking years because of the pandemic.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. Hi, Kitty. How you doing, hon?
Hey, sorry, I just finished with the Godless Granny. She had a cancellation and she asked if I could pop in last minute. So we just finished up, so I figured I'd pop over here and say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I
How'd that
saw
go
your
with-
thumbnail.
It was a fun chat.
Yeah.
How is everyone?
Good.
Well,
In a
and
word,
I
kayo
suppose
korosta para kini ka
I've certainly been worse than this.
And again, give some thought to that neck brace idea I've mentioned before. Maybe it might help with your neck some. Take the pressure off of it when you're sitting.
Oh, moo, okay. Oh,
Maybe get the
Johnny,
one
so
that has
you,
the heating on it, so you can heat your neck.
so Johnny was on with Godless Granny also?
Like
It
it-
was just me and Gigi this time.
So we're getting a Godless Granny raid here, huh?
Yeah, and then she is gonna be on another stream later talking about with Aaron Ra, talking about the recent Supreme Court decision on prayer. Like the coach that, was praying on
Oh,
the
yeah,
yard
yeah,
line and
yeah,
everything.
right.
So she's going to be discussing with, I think, Atheist Edge and Aaron Ra at 9 Central, it's 10 our time. So in about half an hour.
Tayo korosto.
Coach by himself praying, not a problem. The coach, just bringing in all the kids to pray with him, that I have an issue with.
Well, you
Good,
know,
good.
prayer in school is Christian grooming.
Yeah. No, it really, really is.
You know,
I
I mean, they bitch about groomers all the time, but look at what they're doing.
Well, it's projection.
And
It's just
performative. I mean, like, let's face it, praying that publicly is clearly like flaunting it
Yes.
rather than any kind of spirituality.
Yeah, and well, this, Bloggerty, you may remember this. I used to argue with Jones all the time about displaying symbols, like the cross that was displayed in Pensacola and that whole thing, which I see as, look who's in charge here. And
Symbols are for the symbol-minded.
there you go.
I mean, I personally, while I wouldn't, advocate for legislation for it, I personally believe that raising children in religion is harmful.
Oh yeah.
Because when a child is young, they look to their parents. Their parents are their whole world. And you're giving them answers that can never be questioned rather than telling them to question and learn and grow. And I do see it as abusive. But again, I wouldn't want to necessarily push to legislate that away, but just my personal view, like, children should not be taught religion unless it is like from, a comparative religions class type of thing where it's like you're taught, okay, the Jews believe this, Christians believe this, the Protestant Reformation happened, and, so they broke off from the Catholics here. So you're basically teaching it from a cultural and historical perspective, but not endorsing any one view.
Right,
and then when
right.
the child gets older, like teenage years, if they decide that they want to follow religion, their brains are more developed, they have a better understanding of what all's going on with all that. And I think that's a better way to do it. That's how I'm doing it with my child. Like, my child's being raised without religion, but, I will be teaching him about different belief structures and different belief systems, but I'm not endorsing any of them. And when he's older, if he makes a decision to become religious, then, whatever, like, more power to him.
Obviously, that's the problem, though, that religious people have with that idea is you got to hook them when they're young.
Right.
Otherwise, if they can think for themselves, they won't stay religious.
Well,
That's the problem they have with it, obviously.
How many
Also,
have been
hi,
written to
Purple.
Purple Deer? Hello.
Hello.
And how many have been written to have said, who was it? Give me the child. By the age of 7, I will give you the man, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who said that.
But it's,
But no, it is very much projection on their part. They're like, oh, the LGBTQ are grooming the kids. It's like, no, you're grooming them into religion. Especially in the more evangelical types where, you've got like the quiverful and the women must be meek and subservient and shit out a bunch of babies.
Yeah.
And like serve her husband. That is essentially grooming a child bride. Like you are trying to keep the woman in a perpetual state of immaturity and childishness and transfer her as an adult, but still be like a child onto the man. And it is really creepy and weird.
Yes.
What's the name of that one, like she's on Twitter all the time, the good-natured wife or something?
The transformed wife. What the hell is her name?
Oh my gosh, what the hell is her problem? Like, I will never understand the people who revel in being subservient, who revel in being, like second class, basically, who think that's their honor to be that. I do not understand.
Well,
that.
I think personally,
Goodreads here has attributes what you're give me your child until he is 7, and I will show you the man to Aristotle.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was one of the apologists, but I guess not. But it still is a point. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that it's been taken up by the apologists in their to train up a child type of mentality of, how to essentially use physical abuse to indoctrinate your child into your way of thinking.
Well, there's the thing.
Literally what that book is about.
Thank you for reminding me of what I was about to say. Where you're looking at the transformed wife, you're looking at people like that. I personally think they were severely damaged by childhood indoctrination to think that their plight was good.
Well, I do wonder, though, if there's any crossover whatsoever to the BDSM community, like the mindset. It's like these are a bunch of people who like to be bottoms.
No,
maybe.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. Like, I am a sub. Like, I am a bottom. Like, Like,
Okay.
but the fact of the matter is for me, it is kind of an opposite thing to like my everyday life, because I am a little bit pushy and opinionated and outspoken, and I like things done a certain way. I'm a bit of a control freak in my everyday life. But, you know, when it comes to sex in a safe environment where I have, you know, not necessarily a contract with somebody, but like there is an agreement, and we know like what the terms are, what the limits are, but it's essentially like a contract.
I know the whole BDSM thing when it's formalized like that, when it's actually BDSM. I get that because I was in the goth community in Seattle, all of that. But I think these are like what I was trying to say is these are people who want to be dominated.
Now, I don't understand that mindset, but then again, it's that I simply don't understand it rather than passing any judgment on it.
Stockholm syndrome.
Maybe,
I
maybe.
don't know, maybe.
Well, that's what I was going to say was, you know, that actually what the Bible talks about with them, you know, taking all the young girls as trophies of war.
Yeah, Numbers 5, yeah.
Yeah, basically they're trying to impose Stockholm syndrome, that you get them when they're children and you beat them into submission and hope they learn to love you.
It's not so much love, it's fear.
It's
Yeah.
funny because like there are definitely people out there who are way too strong-willed for that. I mean, maybe they get like, you know, beaten to death because they are that defiant, but I don't know. Like I know there are people out there who would absolutely not accept it no matter how much they were beaten.
Yep. And the Bible allows that if they're defiant, you're allowed to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
I can just say, like, from my perspective, like, it is kind of liberating, you know, as someone who needs, you know, control and overthinks so many things, like being able to get into a headspace where I don't have to make the decisions. Like it is very freeing to get into like that subspace where, you know, but you know it's done in a safe like way in a controlled environment. I don't know. At like speaking as a submissive, like it's hard for me to see somebody in subspace all the time. Like that just doesn't really happen. So like, and this is an all the time thing, like not a, you get there, you do your thing, your aftercare, and then you go about your life and then rinse and repeat. Like you would have to be in, you know, that sub mindset all the time. And I don't know how that would work. Like, I'm just trying to think of the logistics of it.
Yeah, that was actually how I felt before I met my fiance, that I could not understand why anybody would do that. I can't really explain it to you, but yeah, that's, you know, it makes a huge difference when you first get to choose who the person in authority is. That's about all I can tell you.
Yes. Like, knowing that, because here's the thing, in a true, like, healthy BDSM relationship, it is technically the sub that has the power. Because that's
So
what
I've heard,
safe words,
yeah.
that's what safe words and, you know, hard limits are for. And so if you say stop, you know, or whatever your safe word is, like, it
Rutabaga.
stops. Yeah, well, mine is Onyx, but regardless, you know, so, like, things are going on. If it gets too intense, Onyx, everything stops, and then I am checked on to make sure I am okay. And that is where aftercare comes in, and where you are essentially, you know, making sure that the person is okay, and that if it got too intense, you're helping them, like, come down from that heightened emotional state. That's how it's supposed to work, you know. And while in the moment it feels like the Dom's got the power, they're the one giving you orders. They're the one inflicting pain, punishment, pleasure, all of that. But the minute you say stop, you know, or the safe word, it stops. So, like, you're giving up power, but it's really only the illusion of giving up power. And as somebody who has had my agency and power taken from me on more than one occasion in my life, you know, it might seem kind of weird for me then to opt to have my agency taken away. But again, it is still only the illusion of that, but it is freeing and allows my mind to kind of quiet down for a moment.
Well, see, when I said what I said, I was thinking that there was only a smidgen of crossover. You know, that the sort of more formalized with safe words and all of that stuff, BDSM, was not present, but some of the mindset that leads to it might be. And we are talking about people who love the idea of this dude being nailed to a tree, and somehow that's a virtue.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, and a lot of people, you know, they take vows of silence, vows of chastity, and all this stuff. They love submission, these people. So, I mean, it may not be the same thing, but I'm wondering if there's a kernel of the same impulse.
Well,
that was my point.
I think a lot of it, though, also just comes from the Christian teachings that, you know, generally a lot of them say the more you suffer on earth, the greater your rewards will be in heaven.
Which is so crazy. I mean, it's like, how do I know I'm actually going to get this? I have to wait until I die to even examine the merchandise. I wouldn't make that sale. I would not buy what they're selling.
Well, consider the source of the description of the merchandise. I mean, this was what the ruling class fed the peons. You know,
Well, I've
let
heard
us
people-
put our boots on your neck, and then you'll be that much better in heaven.
Well, not just that. I mean, I've heard people say, like, I have to believe there's something else. I have to believe there's something better than this, or I'd go nuts. So it's not just about the ruling class or being dominated. It's also people who are like, I've suffered so much. Life has to be better than this. And so they're like waiting to die because that's where the better than this happens, apparently, allegedly.
Yeah, I mean, it was very much a carrot and stick approach where it's like, well, yeah, you're suffering now. You've got no food, and anything you grow, your fucking feudal lord is taking from you. But, you know, if you give what meager savings you have to the church and follow our rules, then, you know, you get paradise and you will be rewarded, you know.
A slave
but
mentality.
I would have been like, well, show me paradise first so I know it's fucking real. And of course they say, you know, well, have faith, at which point, you know me and faith, I say, screw that crap.
It's a lot of fun when you try to think about that sort of thing, because I mean, I think about it quite a lot. You know, with the life has to be better than this, and you have to come to the conclusion, no, it doesn't have to be better than this.
And it can always be worse.
I'm in constant pain. I'm constantly I'm a pincushion, but it doesn't have to be better than this. And okay, when I die, I'm not going to feel it anymore. So maybe that's the best it can get.
Cheer up, it's all that bad.
Yeah.
So, talking to Johnny Rapine? Rapine?
Fine, apparently, he said earlier.
Okay. So, like, even in, like, at least from my experience, you know, with the community, even in the most extreme of, you know, power exchanges where you're getting into, like, the CNC stuff, safe words are still a thing. For anyone who doesn't know, CNC is consensual non-consent.
I don't get that one, but that's...
I don't get that one either.
Control, but okay.
No, CNC, consensual non-consent, is basically people with rape fantasies.
I was kidding. In the military, it's command and control.
Yeah. But even in, like, that would be, like, the most extreme of, like, you know, loss of power and agency and, you know, there are still safe words involved in, you know, that as well. I personally don't get that. That's not my thing, but consenting adults are free to do whatever consenting adults want to do.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Some people find fear a turn on. It's kind of why some people fuck after, like, an accident or something.
Yeah.
But what I
experience, time to fuck.
What I don't get is the consensual part of the non-consent. In other words, you've got to know somewhere, at some level, that this is a simulation. This is a game, if you will. Yeah, and therefore you're not having that non-consensual experience, if you get where I'm going with this.
Well, in the moment, you can easily fool yourself that something is what it isn't.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, our brains are great at tricking us into believing shit that is not true.
That's
Oh,
usually
so
why movies are so popular.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, people cry at movies where nothing is actually happening to anybody for realsies.
Yep.
Shigo was
But-
hot. Like I can get behind this.
I wasn't sure how many people would actually know who I was talking about.
I do not.
What? I missed it. What'd you say?
When Kitty's moving around, she's got a green glow around her hands. So I'm saying she's like Shigo.
Yeah, I don't
was,
know who
Kim
Shigo is.
Possible.
Yeah, one
She
of the
was the
villains
black
in Kim
and
Possible.
green villain from Kim Possible.
Yeah,
Oh, I
okay.
never saw that.
I know who you're talking about now.
Dude, I would smash Shigo.
Okay.
I
And an
would just
awkward
like
hush
to,
falls over the crowd.
I would just like to brush her hair.
I know her
could-
hair was so good.
yeah. I mean, you got the long dark hair all the way down to your butt. Yeah, for me, brushing a woman's hair can be foreplay.
I'm hoping that I can actually grow my hair that long now that I'm not bathing in hard water constantly. Because, apparently my childhood home has hard water. It was like limestone or some shit.
Yep.
Seattle and San Diego, hard water. But the place I'm in right now, the water comes right out of Lake Champlain, and it's pretty clean. And my hair is actually, instead of feeling like a frickin' wire brush, it feels almost silky at times. And I'm hoping that means that it won't get brittle and break like it always has, and I can actually grow the damn thing past my tits for once. And so, I would love to grow a ponytail down to my ass. I think that'd be great.
I will actually recommend Function of Beauty. It is, you go online and you pick the scent and you pick, you start with what your hair type is, whether it's straight or curly or wavy, and that'll give you your base formulation. And then you pick different additives that they'll add, things for strengthening or lengthening the hair or nourishing it if you have dry or damaged hair. And then you pick the color and they mail it out to you, and I love their products.
What's it
I've
called?
been using them. Function of Beauty.
Function. I'm gonna have to write that down.
It's what I've been using on my hair, and I bleach my hair, and yet it's still super shiny and healthy, and it's fantastic. It gets mailed to you, so you don't have to go to the grocery store. You can get it customized to you. They'll put your name on the bottle, and I mean, it's not the cheapest shampoo. I mean, it's not like your Dove, or what have you, but it's not prohibitively expensive either. And they have a deep conditioning hair mask that is really great.
So here's my question. If I let my hair do what it wants to, I'll have basically a Jufro. I will look like Weird Al Yankovic circa 1987, and I hate it. So I take a flat iron to my hair, right? So will they take that into account, that I have curly hair that I straighten?
Yeah, because it basically is about the coarseness and the porousness of your hair. So you would want to say you have either the wavy or curly hair, and they'll use different conditioning agents for it depending. I have fine straight hair, so I don't need as much, or as heavy of a conditioner necessarily as somebody with thick curly hair. The other thing that I would recommend is don't shampoo your hair too much. Usually, conditioning your hair is fine, but shampooing it does strip it of its natural protective oils. So, with my sister, she had curly hair, but it was always so frizzed out, she would never get the ringlets unless her hair was wet. And even then, it would just frizz out as soon as it dried. And I changed up her products, changed up her routine, and now she only shampoos her hair once a week, but she will wash it with conditioner, which will get out, you know, some of the excess oils from your hair, but it's not as stripping as shampoo is. And she has gorgeous ringlets again. Like, her hair is in excellent condition. She used to straighten her hair because she hated essentially just how frizzy, poofy, poodle butt it would look. And now she hasn't touched a straightener in 2 years.
Well, see, I just hate having straight hair curly hair in the first place. If I want my hair to be like completely straight. I mean, like, we're talking Cleopatra straight here. You know, I hate having curly hair. I don't want wavy
They have thermal
hair.
protectors as add-ins
Yeah.
you can do, so you can still straighten the hair, but it'll be less damaging because your shampoo and conditioner has essentially heat protection built into it. So when you use the straight iron, it's not doing as much damage to your hair.
Now,
So they do have that as an add-in.
One thing I've had, like, you know, beauticians and all of that, hairstylists tell me is that part of the problem is just how damned multiracial I am. That there's really nothing made for me because I'm, like, seriously everything except East Asian. Everything. And that combination makes it really difficult to find anything that will work on my hair because apparently everything competes with itself. You know, like if you have Caucasian hair, it like the same things won't work on African hair, won't work on, you know, like the wrong part of Europe hair. It's beyond maddening.
I mean, it might take a little bit of trial and error, you know, to find it, but like once you find it, like, I swear by the stuff. Like, but then again, you know, my hair is obviously very different from yours, but it is definitely something to look into because I know other people that they have very different hair types from mine, including like my sister's who has like that really, like, it can get wiry and poodle butt frizzy curly hair, and I got her using Function of Beauty for curly hair, and she's been doing, you know, great with her hair. So I know it works for different hair types, and there are differences in the formulation and the outcome, you know, of like the final thing. So I would definitely recommend checking them out. Again,
Well,
it's not cheap, but I love the stuff.
Well,
It's
how
so
cheap
good.
is not cheap?
So if you do the shampoo and conditioner, like, here, hold on.
I just Googled the Function of Beauty while you were talking. And first of all, it says available exclusively at Target. But also their website has a quiz that you can, you know, describe your type of hair and then describe, you know, what your goals are with it.
Type of hair, everything.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
mine is very straight, thin, and dry.
Which is, you know, where my hair tends to lean towards. But like I said,
I'll give it a try. I've tried so many different products and I just don't seem to see any difference with any of them.
Well, one of the things that I have noticed, seriously, the quality of the water makes so much difference. You have no idea.
Yeah, and it doesn't help the fact that Minnesota is known for you getting a full day supply of minerals in every glass.
Yeah. And like, even though like my hair, it's shorter now because I just got a haircut this past weekend, but I go through a lot of shampoo and conditioner, like, especially conditioner. And they have it so that you can either do a one-time purchase or you can do like a renewing thing where they'll ship it to you every, you know, 2 or 3 months. I'm on the 3-month plan, and I am coming up where I'm going to be shipped a new one, and I haven't even gone through all of mine yet. So, and I'm someone who goes through a lot of conditioner. So, it's basically a 3-month supply for if you buy, like if you subscribe, I think it comes out to $20 for the shampoo and $20 for the conditioner.
Well, it's far better than I feared.
And like if you just buy it once, I think it's $25 and $25. So it's not prohibitively expensive, but it is more expensive than what you're going to get at a grocery store, you know. But I love the stuff. It works great for me. It works great for my sister. We have vastly different hair types. And again, not cheap, but not like $90 for a single bottle that will last you less than a month, you know, which some like custom beauty products can be. Like
Okay,
here I am doing a full ass ad for Function of Beauty, and they ain't even paying me.
I just took their quiz, but I don't see anything like results. You know, they're asking for my email address and I can save my formula, but I don't know what else happens.
So then they'll give you your base form. Once you put in your email address, they'll save the formula. They'll give you the base formula, and then you can select like add-ins and you can tweak the formula and see where you're at. Like for me, let me log in real quick and I'll let you know the add-ins that I did for mine.
I hate when those sites where you have to give them the email to get the results.
Yeah, that always pisses me off. Well,
Well, it particularly annoys me.
They're asking me to buy, so forget it. Maybe later.
Yeah, it particularly annoys me when you have to give your email address before they'll tell you the price.
I'm not a fan of like those quizzes or you know, whatever. It's like, what is your spirit animal, or who is your celebrity crush, or whatever, where they won't let you have the result. Like, you take the whole quiz, maybe it's 5 pages of quiz, and then they say, to see your results, give us your Facebook account, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you assholes.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, well, I just went through the whole thing, and it says that the normal price would be $50. The first trial offer, I get 20% off, so it's only $40.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
But like I said, it's not cheap, but not like exorbitant either.
Yeah, I mean, it's far less than I feared from your description. So
yeah, no, like it's something like I don't have a lot of extra money, but you know, considering like I will buy different hair products trying to get, you know, decent results, I end up spending more money going to like Walmart and trying out different shampoos and conditioners than I do just getting the one and having it be good for 3 months, you know?
Well, I have to admit at this point I'm ready to try just about any damn thing.
But like I said, I love it. My sister loves it. It works great for us.
Yep.
But, you know, your mileage may vary because, again, genetics, everybody's hair is different. But
Yeah.
I definitely recommend it.
Well, I might give it a whirl. You know, I have a little bit of extra dough, so maybe.
Yeah, it kind of seems an awful lot to me to be paying $40 for a bottle of shampoo, but, you know, if it's really going to work. Like I
Besides,
said,
it's
I've
shampoo
tried so
and
many other
conditioner.
things.
It's
Like
both.
right now I've been using Pantene, but
I
it's
don't
still...
The hell with shampoo. I want my poo to be real. Wow, I would have thought Diana, of all people, would have found that amusing.
I'm frustrated right now because my stuff is acting up over here for some reason. If it's my keyboard or if it's the browser, I'm not sure. But you did remind me of a friend of mine from years ago, who did a joke about shampoo and real poo.
Which browser are you using?
This is Firefox that's doing the weird stuff.
What's this? Well, under the shampoo and conditioner, they've got a hair mask product.
Yes,
you used
I got
that?
the hair mask. I love it. I use it once a week. It's extra, you know, obviously, but when I placed my first Function of Beauty order, it basically came out to $20 for each thing. So because the hair mask I think is about $20.
Yeah, the hair
so it
mask
was-
is an extra $20.
I love the hair mask. Like if I feel like my hair's a little dry, I'll take a little of it and mix it with the regular conditioner, just kind of in my hand and work it through my hair. But then once a week, I will just use the hair mask on it, and you get a generous amount of hair mask. Like, actually, hold on, I will go grab the bottles and I'll show you the size of the bottles. So give me
Well,
one
and
second.
these are 16-ounce bottles, and you know, based on like the Pantene I've been using, a 16-ounce bottle is probably going to last me close to a year.
Well, one of the things that I find with my hair being as dry and frizzy as it is, like I put so much product on it because it feels like it all just disappears. It gets drunk by my hair because it's so damn dry. It's like by the time I've worked it through, like halfway through each strand, it's gone. You know,
Yeah.
like I almost have to tie it up and do the ends just all on their own. It's
Mine is just
really
so fine
frustrating.
and light that just walking through the hallways, just the static electricity will make it, fly out to the sides.
I'm sure he would, Blargety. Oh my.
What?
Oh, Blargety's talking about trolling NCG.
MCG?
That place they used to work for, the New Covenant Group.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, sorry, I heard M, not N.
Okay.
Made no sense.
Oh my. Yeah, if I could get this thing to work right, I wouldn't mind something like that. The other problem with it, though, were we to go there, their audio would bleed onto this channel.
Hmm.
So, here's the hair mask, and it's really, really thick and creamy, and I love the hair mask. It smells so good. I got the coconut because I'm a sucker for coconut.
Well, what do you do? Just rub that into your scalp, or?
Yeah, basically. So I went with my I got the purple shampoo because this helps with the brassiness of bleach blonde hair. The next order, I'm not getting purple shampoo because I go through less shampoo than I do conditioner. And like the bottle is about half gone, and like I'm 2 out of 3 months into this shipment. And I like the little like pump thing, and they give you stickers, and they even put your name on it, like it says function of kitty on there, which I think is adorable. But you get to pick the color and the scent, and you can either make it less scented, regular scent, or more scent.
It's good.
So shampoo and conditioner, and then I will, mix a little of the hair mask with the conditioner. And then once a week, I just use the hair mask, and I really just focus it on the ends because that's what needs it the most. Because with conditioner in general, you mostly want it on the ends of your hair, less on the scalp, because that keeps your hair from getting oily as quickly. Because the more conditioner you put on your scalp, like the quicker your hair will get that like oily, like unclean look. So I'll do a little of this at the scalp conditioner, but the mask itself I focus on just the ends, and then the shampoo obviously goes everywhere.
This is way more complicated than I do with my hair.
Yeah, I have
You've got
to
one of
say,
those like 2-in-1s.
I miss when my hair was visible from orbit. I had a great blue dye job once, and I really, it was like, I don't just mean, but I mean like toothpaste gel blue. It was amazing. But I can't do that anymore. Not if I want to have hair that's not like destroyed, because the bleaching, it's not the coloring, it's the bleaching that destroys it.
Yeah, well, your natural hair color is what, black?
Yeah.
No, it's a very dark brown, but under sunlight it has reddish highlights.
Diokorostu. Okay.
Yeah,
But still.
I've thought it'd be nice to color my hair, but yeah, with as brittle as it is to begin with, I'm afraid it would just completely destroy it.
Yeah, with me it wouldn't be bleaching because, well, I'm going very gray very quickly. But what if I don't like it? Then, what do I do then?
Well, and also I found like you have to bleach it to color it. Like you can't just put color on blonde hair, it'll wash right out. It's part of the bleaching is like I guess making your hair a little bit porous or broken enough to accept the dye.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
No, I'm kind of afraid of that. As slowly as my hair grows anymore, I don't want it being damaged to where it might start breaking.
Well, that was my dad. My mom is indeed here in town, so we're gonna like I mean, they're wiped, so I'll see them tomorrow.
Daj korostu.
Do I even want to fucking know? I'm looking at a video game here on Steam called Toilet Chronicles.
Oh no.
It's a first-person horror comedy game with a mystical setting where you're trapped in a public restroom and need to find a way out with the help of your toilet neighbor. Every choice you make brings you to a different outcome. Holy shit.
Oh
I
my,
did
oh
not mean
my.
to say that. Like,
Well, yeah, it sort of fits though.
yeah.
Yeah, my hair isn't quite what it used to be.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay, Kitty, I'm
But
gonna.
old gray hair, she ain't what she used to be. Anyway, go on.
I'm gonna take your recommendation. I'm going to try this stuff.
I'm gonna think about it and maybe try it tomorrow. Like order some tomorrow. I'll think about it.
Yeah, no, like I said, I mean, I highly recommend it. I mean, I am very happy with like how shiny and pretty and nice and soft my hair is. And like I bleached my hair. Like you can see like, you know, how much new growth I've had.
Well, I just want my hair to grow like to not be all brittle and snappy offy to the point where, like, seriously, I've never been able to grow my hair like below my armpits. Basically, it's always gotten destroyed whether I got it cut or not. It just will not grow further than that, and I guess it's because it's brittle and breaks. So
Yeah, I would definitely look at, you know, the strengthening and conditioning like additives that they have. And you can
Yeah.
pick up base formulas at Target. So if you don't want to go you know, through the website, they have more options on the website than they do at Target, obviously. But some of their base things, they have straight, wavy, and curly. So they have 3 base options at Target, and then they have quite a few of their additives, but I don't think they have all of them. So it is possible to give it a try by picking it up at Target. You know, it's a smaller bottle, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna ask, if you buy it at like a brick and mortar store, is it cheaper or more expensive?
The bottles are smaller, and it's like, I think $10 for the shampoo, $10 for the conditioner, but that doesn't count the add-ins. The add-ins are like a couple bucks each. So it comes out to about the same, maybe a little bit more, you know, depending on if you do 3 additives or not. But if you want to try it without having to wait on the mail and just, you know, give it a go, it's not like a vast difference in price.
Right.
But you are more limited in the options that you have.
Well, I think it's better to do the stuff online, because I was looking at the options and I'm like, I think I need to customize this specifically for me. You know, I've gone to so many like stores and salons and shit where I try to get something and it like they just don't have an option for me. There's nothing that actually fits me. So
I mean, like I said, my sister and I are both very, very happy with it. And there are some like YouTubers that might have like you know, discount codes sometimes, you know, but if you're doing a first time thing, usually it comes out to about the same as their codes. So
right.
That was actually how I first found it. Like there's a hairstylist that I follow, and she was trying out like different like online beauty brand things. So like she tried out the Venus razor, which is basically like Dollar Shave Club but for women. And I actually ended up trying that one myself because I like the handle better. It's more comfortable and the blades seem to work better because I was using Dollar Shave Club for my razors. But it also comes with this little like magnetic razor holder that you stick it onto like the wall of your shower or by your bath or whatever, and then the magnet like holds the razor handle, so you're not having like a wet blade like face down on the edge of like the sink or the tub or whatever. And I absolutely love the razors, and my skin loves the razors. So I tried those out, and then I tried out the Function of Beauty because she bought them and tested them, and it wasn't like a sponsored post or anything. And I'd heard other people recommending it to me as well in some of the other like groups that I'm in online. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a try. And I have not regretted it.
Well, okay, I mean, you say you like the razors, but what about the lowerers?
Well, I want to lower my amount of body hair because I do not want hair anywhere except my head. I don't like body hair on myself. I don't know. It just makes me feel weird. Like
Yeah,
I even
get
shave
it.
my arm. Like I even shave my arms because
No,
I just
get it.
I don't do body hair.
Well, let's face it. A large part of my ancestry is Italian, and they have a tendency to be a hairy people.
Oh yeah.
So
My grandmother's maiden name was Bovenzi. She was Irish, half Italian. I am hairy, but I have like baby fine, like peach fuzz, like pale blonde hair. So like I am fortunate in that respect that my hair is all very light in color. So it doesn't show up as much, but I still know it's there. I can feel it, and it just it just makes me feel like there's bugs crawling on me. So I'm just like, no, shave it
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, I have a
go-
problem with my chest hair can get itchy.
I go back and forth on whether or not I like having pubes.
Personally, I don't. Not a fan.
I don't know. There's times where it seems like I don't want them, and then there's other times where it feels creepy to not have them.
I get that, you know, because
Yeah.
it's like the people that are you think in the back of your head, the people that like prefer that, it's like, why is it that they prefer it? Is because they don't want to be picking hairs out of their teeth, or is it because they have particular predilections?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I totally get it. Like I'm there with you, but again, it is body hair on me. I don't want it, so like
Yeah.
that just goes out the window for me personally. But
Well,
I
and-
get it.
I mean, given how long it's been since I've been in a relationship, I'm really only thinking of myself. And like I said, I go back and forth. I'm just of two minds about it. And I mean, it is a bit more comfortable without, I have to admit.
Okay, I can see that.
You know, and let's face it, there's less to clean up if you end up being messy in the toilet. I'm just
Gross,
saying.
but
I get
true.
that too.
One thing I don't hear anyone ever mention is that you don't think it makes a difference, but that little bit of body hair actually does make a difference in very cold weather. You know, just the fact that that leg hair was keeping a fractional air pocket between the leg of my pants and my skin actually made a huge difference going out in the winter.
I've never, I mean, I was raised in Vermont, of course, it gets cold. I've never had that experience, but I know also that that's kind of my thing, because it's like my veins are so tiny, my extremities get cold almost instantly. I'm cold all the time, it feels like. So, like, I've never noticed a difference. You know, like with hair, without hair, cold, not cold. It just, it's not relevant for me.
Yeah. I
My
do
hair's
like to be
sparse,
completely
so-
shaved. Unfortunately, it's, you know, certain areas are difficult to do it without bleeding,
Yeah.
and those very same areas that if you shave it and don't keep it get very itchy.
You know, I've never really had that problem.
Just the couple of days when it's growing back
Yeah.
will be very
I've
difficult.
never had that problem. I don't know why not.
It might have to do with how coarse your hair is there.
But my hair is coarse everywhere, up to and including my noggin. So I don't know. Maybe
My
it's more a
facial-
matter of whether or not my skin can take it.
Maybe.
My facial hair is so coarse I've actually stabbed myself with it.
Well, and also for me, it goes with my autism that I'm much more tactily oriented than most people. I am very aware of, the smallest things touching my skin.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get that too, because, I'm autistic, and although for me, sound is much, much worse, but I totally get it. And yet, even so, with hair at least, unless it's like really tickling me somewhere, I don't really get bothered by it. Although the one that drives me absolutely nuts is if there's like a fingernail or a toenail that's slightly out of place. That one just goes right up my spine.
Mm.
Yeah, okay, so I pulled up my thing, and actually apparently it's been 3 months and I still have half the bottles left. So there you go. But I need to get a non-purple shampoo, because if you use too much purple shampoo, you can start to get like a tinge to your hair. So I need to bounce between the two. And I am starting to run low on the conditioner though.
Well, on the quiz, I like it asked me for colors and scents, and I said none on all of the above.
I mean, that's just an added layer of customization. Like, you can do, like, they have quite a few fragrances. I love their coconut. It's amazing. And you can get it either, like, lightly scented, the regular amount, or fully scented. And then the colors are, again, a customization thing. Like, it just makes the formula look like you saw me. I had the purple. Like, for the shampoo, it had to be purple because that's the whole point of purple shampoo. But I went with a light, like, lavender color for the conditioners to go with the shampoo. Like, you can get it with no color, but I personally like having that touch of color.
Well, I was going to say, I like that it's available without any fragrance or color.
Yes.
Because I seem to be very sensitive, especially to artificial fragrances.
Well, my hair is like I don't know, it's so dark as it is that color would add nothing. I mean, maybe I could throw in a little red there to help enhance the highlights, but otherwise it would be meaningless. And I've often found the scents that come with these sorts of things with beauty products to be kind of icky. Like usually they're overpowering, and when they're not overpowering, they're just something I don't want to smell in the first place.
Yeah, for me, they can too easily trigger my allergies. And then I wind up with the hacking cough all day.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain scents that seem to be in everything, and I don't understand why. It's kind of like how it's really hard to find toothpaste that isn't mint. It's the same thing with like beauty products. And we've got another fucking Nazi in here, it looks like. Or was that from before? No, that was from before.
That's from before, yeah. We do have a new person here. What is this? No, okay. Sean seems to be reasonable so far.
So, as for the scent possibilities, they have cherry blossom, coconut, mango, lavender, rose, peach, eucalyptus, pear, and then fragrance free. Like I said, I am a sucker for coconut. That's mine. But the rose is also very, very nice. And the pear is pretty good. I haven't tried the peach one yet. But it does actually have the best reviews. And the eucalyptus and lavender are 100% natural. So it's using natural things rather than artificial. So that might be something to think of if you want a natural fragrance that's not artificial. You could go with like the lavender or the eucalyptus and just do a lightly scented instead of,
none of those appeal though. I mean, if they had vanilla, I might have been all about it, because vanilla scent is usually pretty nice. You only find that in candles for the most part, but still. But none of those scents sound appealing at all. Not to me.
Like, I kind of want to try the peach, but I can't give up my coconut.
Yeah, unfortunately, coconut is one of the worst ones for me. it triggers some type of psychosomatic reaction from my childhood. You know, I've completely blocked the memory, but that scent just makes me very agitated.
It always reminds me of being very oily.
Well, you know, and I'm okay with natural coconut. I like fresh coconut. But just any of the artificial coconut smells, any of the air fresheners or shampoos with the coconut scent.
Oh, I found a vanilla ice cream flavored toothpaste.
Huh.
Yeah, then honestly, Purple, if you decided to go with a fragrance on there, I would say, you know, a light eucalyptus for like a fresh feeling, or for a more feminine thing, go with a light lavender.
Yeah, I would probably go with the lavender if I did any scent.
I don't
Yeah.
even have like, you know, wet dog or sweaty sock, though.
No, they do have a new fragrance though. It's called like floral, like so it's just like a florally fragrance. But I don't know. Like, I might do the peach next time, like, you know, but at least for this time, I've got my coconut. I love my coconut. Even my body wash is coconut. My deodorant is coconut. Like, everything's coconut scented.
Would you put it in a bowl so you could have a peach tree dish?
Maybe, and I could grow some meat.
Okay, reference missed. Never mind.
No, it was Marjorie Taylor Greene
Okay,
saying that
okay,
they're going to grow
okay.
meat in peach tree dishes.
Okay, okay.
This company also sells a chocolate ice cream flavored toothpaste.
Wacky.
Yeah.
I've never had anything other than mint or cinnamon.
Actually, wintergreen. I have found wintergreen, which is one of the only mints I can stand.
I love wintergreen. Wintergreen is
I
so
do
good.
love
It's
it.
my favorite mint.
But I mean, like, I don't know why. How did mint get to be the standard for a quote unquote clean scent? Because I find mint to be kind of icky. But then I'm
Honestly,
also a super
probably-
taster, so that might be part of it.
Well, probably because it leaves that cool, tingling, like refreshing feeling in the mouth. So, you know, like part of it is like, you know, it's a strong scent, so like it can help, you know, cover halitosis a little bit. But the main thing I think is just because it has that cool, refreshing, like I just sucked on an ice cube, but my mouth isn't actually cold thing. So you get that I feel refreshed, and when you feel refreshed, you feel clean. Like it's like that connection there.
I don't know. It doesn't do that for me at all. It just feels overpowering.
Kate, have you tried Tom's of Maine?
Yeah, my hippie ass parents would bring it home all the time. I found if it's the stuff I remember, it always kind of seemed to have weird powdery grit in it.
Okay, but I know they had a couple of different flavors. My fiance used to get a cinnamon flavor.
I've had cinnamon toothpaste and I thought it was really odd.
I know they also have something like a strawberry flavor for the kids' toothpaste.
I've used a vanilla chai flavored toothpaste that worked pretty nice.
That sounds interesting.
Unfortunately, they don't sell it anymore.
Oh, of course they don't. I don't know, it's weird. It seems like everything I enjoy gets discontinued at some point. I mean, I don't know. I mean, they haven't discontinued the watermelon Red Bull yet, but I figure they will. They discontinued the cranberry Red Bull, which I absolutely loved, which is weird because I hate cranberries. I guess it's because it was artificial that I liked it. And they discontinued the salted caramel Eggos.
Yeah, I miss those.
Oh man, those were good. There's like just so many things like that where I'm like, I love this stuff. Where the hell did it go?
Yeah. That vanilla chai toothpaste was nice because I could drink orange juice and then not get that bad aftertaste. Toothpaste.
That is one of the like opposite of appeal. The drawbacks from mint toothpaste is I mean, I love orange juice. I absolutely adore almost all forms of citrus. Grapefruit is disgusting, but you know, like you can't have it for what, like an hour or two after brushing your teeth. It stinks.
Yeah, I've always thought that was a flaw, that, you know, they should realize how common it is to have orange juice with breakfast.
Well, I don't understand. Like, I've heard of people brushing their teeth before breakfast. And I'm like, wouldn't you brush after your morning
yeah,
meal?
to brush your teeth and then go and eat really defeats the purpose.
Yeah, completely. I don't get why people do that. I mean, especially if you're going to have coffee with your breakfast. I mean, coffee will do a number on your breath.
Well, and see, since most people have to brush in the morning, why don't they make coffee flavored toothpaste?
Because coffee breath is nasty. I mean, like,
But, I mean,
seriously,
they-
I've
they should
noticed
make
a
it-
significant decrease in breath quality after drinking coffee.
But they should make it a flavor that would naturally go with what most people have for breakfast.
Okay, bacon and eggs.
Well, I really think they should just make it orange juice flavor.
Hash brown flavored.
I have seen orange flavored toothpaste.
Yeah.
So I couldn't do that. Like, I don't know. I don't always eat breakfast, and even when I do, like, I don't eat it when I first wake up. And I know that it's bacteria shit in my mouth that is making it have the morning breath thing, so I cannot eat until I have brushed my teeth. And like, I brush my teeth every night before bed too. Just I don't like my mouth feeling all bleh.
I don't know. It's never bothered me to eat pre-brushing. I don't know.
I get what you're saying, Kitty, and I've had times that, I have to give it a quick rinse with the mouthwash as soon as I get up.
There you go.
Like, I have a medication that I take at night, and I don't know why, but any nights that I don't take the medicine, I notice a difference in the morning that my mouth, like, doesn't feel as, like, grungy. It's like, if I do take the medicine, my mouth wakes up tasting like gross. Like, every morning, like, it's yeah. Like, and like, it still tastes gross when I get up on mornings if I've forgotten to take it, but it's to a lesser extent. I don't know if it's like drying out my mouth a little bit, at night, and like that's like letting the bacteria flourish more or what, but it's a marked difference. And I also noticed that if I fall asleep before brushing my teeth at night, it's worse in the morning when I take the medication. So I make sure to brush my teeth every night before I go to bed. Like, it's the last thing I do, and then I won't have anything to drink but water. And then I'll brush them as soon as I get up in the morning.
Well, if you want to talk about nasty medicine, like, I'm going to be on the brain meds for the rest of my life, basically, because the stuff I was taking for seizures, they kept me on. And then when I went and got my autism diagnosis, they told me that the same meds are the ones they would have prescribed. It's lamotrigine, aka Lamictal. And it is one of the most bitter, nasty, I mean, I know bitter pill is a cliche, but it seriously is one of the most bitter pills I've ever had. Like, couldn't they at least candy coat it or something, put it in gel cap form or something? But no, it tastes disgusting. And I have to, like, drink something very flavorful to get rid of that bitter roofing tar, driveway gravel taste in my mouth. So gross.
Yeah, it is really hard to describe the taste in my mouth in the morning when I first wake up. And it's the medication, because again, any nights that I don't take it, which is rare, because it helps me sleep. But there's a marked difference, and it's a muscle relaxer. And I notice it does kind of dry out my mouth a little bit. And I'm thinking that might be like the action that's causing the difference. It's the only thing I can think of. Because there are times I'll take it during the day too, where my muscles are just so locked up and tight. And usually it'll make me a little drowsy. Sometimes I'll take a nap afterwards. Other times I won't, but it does like dry my mouth.
Yeah, I find the naproxen sodium I take every day will sometimes give me dry mouth.
Hey, I
It's
just
called
got,
Xanodyne, or the brand name is Xanaflex, but it's Tizanodyne. It's a pretty strong muscle relaxer.
I just got an email from Function of Beauty telling me that they've figured out my formula. and they gave me all of these like ingredients and stuff. Like it says here, hair profile. What the hell? Coily, coarse, structure, and dry, which is true. Hair goals: fix, split ends, strengthen, thermal protection, anti-frizz, and straighten. Key ingredients: black oat seed extract, beetroot extract, horsetail extract, evening primrose oil, grapeseed oil, linseed extract, tamarind extract, Moroccan argan oil, whatever the hell that is.
Argan oil is really good on your hair when it's
sunflower
dry.
seed oil, and passion fruit oil. So, yeah.
That's an interesting combination.
Those
I
are
know,
all really good ingredients.
Okay, that's weird. They didn't really send me a formulation thing. They just sent me the order confirmation.
Well, I haven't actually placed an order yet. That's probably the difference.
Yeah, but you'd think that since I did place the order, they would,
You
know,
should be able
give
to
me the
find
list of
it,
what they're putting in it.
Well,
under
it
your
might-
account.
It might just show up out of sequence. Like if you already paid for it, but
Yeah.
it hasn't been enough time, they might not send it to you until like I mean, I don't know how long we've been chatting since I took that quiz, but it took a while for this thing to show up. So it might
Yeah, I'm
just
not
be
really
on its
concerned
way.
about it. I was just thinking it was odd.
Yeah. Well, like I say, it might just be on its way.
Yep.
Maybe about 30 minutes or so.
Well, I'm cheap and
40
didn't want to pay
minutes.
the extra shipping, but I should get it by the end of the month.
Well, I've spent
I
way
really
too
hope
much
it
money,
works
like
for you
getting my new
guys.
place set up and everything. I've spent way too much money, so I might wait until next month to get it. So we'll see.
Yeah,
though.
I really shouldn't have spent that much money in a splurge right now, but like I
Yeah.
said, I've been trying so hard for anything that would, just get my hair to have a bit more volume so I could do something with it.
Well, and I just
I'm
dropped
really hoping
$60
that
on
it
that new
helps.
Metroid game for the Switch, so I really shouldn't spend more money. Yeah.
But
Although
mine will be
I did
shipping
get a
out
nice
the
break last
24th.
night. I was
Oh.
shopping on Amazon, and of course, they're always, throwing the credit card offers at you.
Oh.
So, yeah, I decided what the heck, and I went and filled out the thing to get a business card, and I gave them some BS numbers that I made up off the top of my head, and they approved it and gave me a $125 gift card and a new credit card.
Okay.
And I also just dropped like $130 on some new bone conduction headphones that are actually really, really nice. Like I've had some before, and they were very heavy and made my head hurt after a while, and the sound was really tinny. These new ones are much lighter, the battery lasts longer, and it doesn't hurt for like several hours, and then it starts to ache a little bit because let's face it is hanging on my ears, and the sound is amazing. And not just that, is like, unless it's cranked all the way up, I can still hear everything around me. I can carry on conversations with people with heavy metal playing in my head. So,
That's actually cool. Like, I'm curious now. You've piqued my interest.
well, it sits like on your temples right in front of your ears, but it's not actually going into your ears. So, there's nothing covering them, there's nothing interfering with them, so you can hear everything around you.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
For me, that would be a negative. I'm already too good at hearing everything around me, even with the full cuffs over my ears.
Well, the thing is that, I go rollerblading a lot, and now I have this, new bicycle. My
Yeah.
dad pushed this electric bicycle on me. It was all his idea, and I'm like, I love your enthusiasm, Dad, for bicycles, because he actually started this thing called Old Spokes Home for recycled bikes and all of that. And so he just did that, and it helps just from a safety perspective to be able to hear what's around me, but at the same time, it's really hard to go blading or biking without music. So it served two purposes.
Yeah, it would definitely be a different thing if I was out riding a bike.
Yeah.
I would love to have an electric bike, but I just don't have any place I could keep it that somebody wouldn't fuck with it overnight.
Well, my place came with a garage. I have my own space. And again, my dad, being extremely enthusiastic about bicycles, actually bolted a bunch of things into the concrete so the bikes can be locked up properly. So there's that.
Yeah, you can look into getting a folding bike for yourself.
Well,
That way you can keep it in a fairly small space.
well, what I've got like fits against the wall in the parking space.
I mean, for purple.
Oh.
Yeah, I have kind of been thinking about it, you know, and I have been thinking about if there would be some way that I could put a pulley in the ceiling, you know, so then when I'm not using it, it could kind of stand on end and take up half the space.
Well, with those bikes that you can fold in half, the thing you can put in like a closet.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
dad had one of those. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I thought about getting one
closets
myself.
are pretty full already.
Well, also the bike I have is this electric ride assist thing where you can give it different levels and it'll actually help you.
Yep.
Like as you pedal. It's interesting. It also has a throttle, so if you want to, you don't have to pedal at all. But it's kind of interesting. It's a little weird, like you're pedaling and then all of a sudden you feel this burst of acceleration, and it's
Yeah.
just kind of odd, but it's not boring.
Well, I'd need the electric more now just because I haven't been on a bike in so long. I'm just very out of shape.
I was
But,
saying like an hour or 3 ago that my thighs are not happy with me. I haven't been cycling in ages, and then I just did like a 22-mile round tripper. So
Oh, I still got the muscle in my legs. My problem is I forgot how to breathe when I exert myself for a long period.
Oh. Also, it's taken me a while to find a seat that's comfortable. I gotta say, I don't know why anyone thinks bicycle seats are comfortable. They feel really weird.
Yeah, I never quite understood the way bicycle seats are designed.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, it's almost 11, and my cats are looking at me expectantly. So
Yeah, I'm wondering,
go ahead.
should we just kind of wind this up? Because I've got as I say, I've got dialysis tomorrow, so I've got to be up early and stuff and things. Let's see, where are
Okay,
we?
well, if you want to wind it up right now,
Okay.
yeah, over on the on Atheist Edge channel, Godless Granny and Aaron Ra are having a discussion about the SCOTUS ruling about prayer in school.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So
Hey,
if you
I'm gonna
wanna
have
hop
to-
over there.
I'm going to have to come in on that one, on the repeat.
Yeah, I'll have to watch it from the beginning, like in the wee hours of the morning here.
Does anybody else have any last words?
Be decent to each other. You know,
T-
vote. Voting
that-
is important.
That too. Yeah, it's asking a lot of some
Vote
people.
early, vote often.
There you go. Oh,
That's what I
my.
learned growing up by Chicago.
So,
Now, I worked as an election judge down by Chicago when I was younger. And yeah, we found some weird things on the voter rolls. There were people who had pets. There were people who were dead. In one case, we found a registration that turned out to be a dead parakeet.
oh my.
We had a dead parrot voting in Chicago.
Norwegian Blue prefers kitten on its back. Right, anyway. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make like a baby and head out, so I'll catch you Eva Geniuses later. Have fun.
Okay, and I want to
All
say,
right, but you would be breached just to be a contrarian.
yeah,
Darn right I would. All right.
I
Catch
see
you like
you.
the plague.
and I want to thank everybody who's here, and I want to thank everybody who's not here. You know, you people keep me going, and I hate you for it. Oh my, but
So you're thinking Alex Jones.
okay. Or something like that. Oh my, but really, as long as you kids keep liking this stuff, and as long as I'm alive to do it, I think I'll have to keep doing it. How's that sound? Like that? Oh my, and thanks a lot, troops. See you on the other side.
Good night.
Later.